That's right, folks. We're doing another episode of Tales from the Dorkside. They're not weekly anymore. They're not bi-weekly anymore. They're not even monthly. Now we just kind of do them whenever the hell we feel like it, whenever something important happens. And last night was no doubt a very important night for the movies, for showbiz, the glitz, the glamour, the awards, the violence. Oh, God. That's right, folks. I don't know if this song is public domain. It should be. Jesus Christ, this song is almost 100 years old. I don't think my stream's going to get struck for this song. But it is a classic. I hope everyone's doing well. What a tumultuous 24 hours it's been. We've had serious debates and an incredible meme harvest this morning. The meme harvest is so plentiful today, and I foresee for many days. Congratulations to Oscar winners Will Smith, the director of Power of the Dog. Who else? We got Coda won Best Picture. I saw Coda. I have thoughts about that movie. If anybody wants to come in here, please feel free to message me or, drop a comment. I could send you a link. Promise me not to show any penises or anything. I got a couple people coming in here. We're going to have a nice little discussion. Just shoot the shit. Talk about, the incident. We'll stop that song. We don't need it. All right, let's see. Okay. I figure I'll probably just vamp for a while until we get Max and some other people in here. I've invited a few other people, but that's how I know COVID is officially over. People don't give a shit about these Dorkside streams anymore. All throughout 2020, people were really down to do these. Now I'm just starting to get more accustomed to just kind of use them as a way to vent out, my ridiculous thoughts, my tirades, my spicy takes, as some people have said. Someone did say I had hot takes, and no one gave a shit about them. I did make a post today talking about it. It's got like 113 comments. So, there's some people who got thoughts about it. We got a lot of things to say about this. I don't know. I guess we're just going to talk about it. We're talking about, of course, the 2022 Academy Awards. Just another useless award ceremony in which these Hollywood elitists just show up and pat themselves on the back and basically just give themselves awards for movies that hardly anyone has seen. And the movies that people have seen, nobody cares about those. But also the movies we have seen aren't that great. So, there's a few exceptions here and there. I did like Coda. I did like Licorice Pizza. I did like, what else did I like? Dune was fine. We talk about all these movies in a second. I guess now that I'm here all by myself, let's start off something simple. Let's talk about the actual Academy Award winner, Best Picture of the Year, Coda. It was a lovely film. It took a while to win me over. At first, I wasn't really sold watching it. I was like, it seemed like a elevated Hallmark movie is what it felt like. It was like a standard Hallmark movie with a pretty original plot, somewhat original plot, definitely an original setting, original characters. But for the most part, it just seemed like a standard Hallmark movie, only slightly raunchier. There's a lot of fart and sex jokes that seem a little forced. It's like if the movie had just been like a straight up family film, you could delete a lot of those. I'm all for fart and sex jokes, obviously. But I feel like in this case, you could have probably done without some of the raunchier ones and made the movie more family friendly, since it is at heart a family movie. I don't know. It did seem like a Hallmark movie, though. But it's just interesting. I'm going to spoil the shit out of the movie right now. Not too much. I saw it I saw it a few months back, and I knew it was nominated, so I checked it out, and yeah, we liked it. It's an interesting story. It's like a young lady who is the daughter of a deaf couple, and she has a deaf older brother. She's the only person in her family and her household that can hear, and she wants to be in choir. She's a singer at heart, even though her family is a bunch of fishermen. She comes from a family of fishermen. Her brother and her husband, her dad basically go out on the ocean and they go fish. And she's out on the boat. She's the only one on the boat that can hear. She's basically their ears. She helps interpret for them to other fishermen and stuff. And she answers the radio. She's very important, but she's in high school, so she's overworked. She's underslept, unrested. She's really struggling in school, but she decides to join choir class for her elective. She decides not to do the easy class, which was like home ec or whatever the hell, and decide to take choir, which is a little more challenging, but it's because she's got a crush on some boy who's in choir. Ladies, if you're in high school and a gentleman you're into is in choir, there's a good chance he's not interested in ladies. I'm just saying. But this young man was, so she got lucky. But of course, there's lots of drama, not drama, but, misunderstandings, stressful situations, I should say, with her deaf family. The fact that she's just simply overwhelmed with, school and fishing and trying to be a really good singer. And of course, she is a good singer, and the choir teacher notices this. And the central plot is this young lady is basically being selected to advance into the all state choir things. The teacher sees something in her. She's got a good voice. He wants her to be his little project this year to get to finals. He's got usually a boy and a girl, and the boy is of course the crush, and they have to do a duet together. They have to practice together at her house. Her deaf parents are having wild sex because they're deaf and they don't realize that everyone can hear them. Stuff like that is funny. It was interesting. But there are some very strange parts of the movie for sure, especially in the first half. And it was one of those things where I knew the actress. She's that famous deaf actress, the one. And I figured, since she's really deaf, I figured the other two were also not pretending to be deaf. They're probably actually deaf in real life, which is, fine. But I was realizing, what about like a deaf actor is probably not as difficult as like a blind actor. Like if you had actually blind actors, that's got to be really hard with you got to print a braille script for them or have a, audio format version of it. Someone read it to him. Or her, and then when it comes to actual shooting, it's like, how do you take direction? How do you know where to stand, where your blocking is? I mean, all that stuff has to be considered. I'm sure it can be done. Just seems it would be just way easier to have a seeing actor just put some glasses on and pretend to be blind. The deaf thing didn't seem like it was that challenging. I mean, you obviously have to have sign language and dialogue. And I'm wondering, if these actors do they flub their sign language lines? Do they have to, I messed up the take. We got to do it over again because I signed the wrong word. Does that ever happen? I don't know. I'm kind of getting over an illness. Personal news. I am fine. I just had like a ear infection and thought it was from allergies. And then I suddenly got some really bad diarrhea for a night. And I was like, oh, maybe these antibiotics that they gave me are fucking me up. But they said, no, that doesn't usually happen until like a while after you've taken the antibiotics. It shouldn't be like immediately. It's probably just this infection you're going through. And I'm like, okay. Then the next day, yesterday, 2 days ago, I just suddenly am doing the dishes and my left eye gets all blurry and it suddenly hurts. Like there's something in my eye. Like I have a piece of bread or something in my eye. And I go into the bathroom and my eye's all swollen and red. And I'm like, ew, okay. And a couple hours later, I'm sitting in this room playing some video games, and out of nowhere, boom, my right eye does the same thing. And then I realized, okay, There's not something in my eye. There's something wrong with my eyes. And it just kind of happened. I thought, again, I'm thinking like these antibiotics, they're fucking me up. They're killing me with these antibiotics. But no, that's not it. It's like I probably have some kind of viral infection. That's what happens. Conjunctivitis, diarrhea, ear infections. I still haven't had a fever though. And I'm not trying to brag, but I can't remember the last time I had a fever. Like just right now being this sick, I'm not even that sick. I'm like a little stopped up. I haven't been sick in like 3 or 4 or 5 years. And when I say sick, I mean sore throat, serious allergies, maybe some kind of bronchial strep thing, cough. It's like the worst I get. So naturally the last 2 years have been this whole like, am I going to get COVID? When am I going to get COVID? And as I'm leaving the clinic, I go to the store to pick up my prescription, and the lady's calling me. He's like, hey, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, you might want to get tested for COVID because conjunctivitis, I've seen it, and there's not really a lot going on around right now, but it's out there. And you do have like some gunk in your lungs, I'm hearing. And you got, you said you're feeling like some tightness, it could be COVID. So I finally thought I was going to be one of the special ones. One of you elite few who have gotten COVID. And no, came up negative. I just have some kind of fucking gunk in my skunk. I don't know. But I'm doing better. I do have some beverages. I got a couple cough drops on standby in case. So if I'm talking and I start choking, that's what it is. Anyway, back to the movie Coda. I don't know if it should have deserved Best Picture because I haven't seen all the awards. I do have to say I liked Licorice Pizza more, even though it was, a little bit more irreverent, weirder, less coherent plot line, and a little pedo-ish. But the movie charmed the damn pants off me. I gotta tell you, Licorice Pizza was outstanding. I had a great time watching it. Coda, like I said, at first I kind of was feeling a little, I don't know. It was too hokey. It felt like I said, a Hallmark movie. But then it just really won me over with that famous scene. If you've seen the movie, you know the scene. It's the scene where the deaf father, they just came back from the choir performance at the school. All the parents are there, and the deaf parents are sitting there in this audience, and they're looking around. They're not interested in the choir show because they can't hear. And they're like, yeah, my daughter's up there. Great. And then they kind of lose interest after a while. They're just kind of getting bored. They realize like everyone around them is very into it, and they just don't get it. And the father sits the daughter down and is basically like, look, I know you don't want to do this fishing thing, and we're kind of guilting you into it because you have to, be our ears. You got to answer the radio. We can't go out there with you, and it's not fair. We should just hire an interpreter or something. And the kid's like, no, I can do it. And he's like, no, I see it's important to you. And then the best part of the movie, the part that really, if you're a doubter of the movie at this point, the movie wins you over because it's this really heartwarming scene where he's like, I want you to sing to me. And she starts singing, and he puts the hands on her throat, and you could tell that there's like a real good scene happening here. So very, very, very charming scene, very lovely movie. And something else that I noticed that was very commendable about the movie was the end performance. Cause it does follow the same formula as any standard sports movie. There's you got the main character who's like the star of the show, the leader of the team, the coach maybe, or the head player. And they got that part where they're struggling. They have the montage of them getting better, practicing, honing their skills. And then, we got that scene at the end where they've gone through all the hardest shit and now they're about to win the big game. She's going to do her big final performance at the awards, the whatever it's called, the special, the UIL of choir, I guess, whatever you'd call it. And what was very clever was she starts singing and you're like, okay, now we're going to watch her sing this whole song, 3.5 minutes long. Right. And then she'll win and then we'll move on. No, what happens is she sings for like maybe 20 seconds, and then we just start cutting to after the show where she's getting praise, she's getting applause, and the song is still playing over it. So we're hearing the whole song as we're go fast forwarding through the fact that she won. She's getting ready to go to college. She's like packing up all her stuff. So they really did a good job of like, you end the movie on that high note and you wrap up the prologue at the same time, which I'd never seen done before in any kind of sports movie. That was great. So kudos to that. I gotta say, I don't think Dune should have won. Obviously, Dune. It's a two-parter. Now, I know a lot of people who were like wanting Dune to win. It's like, what if part two sucks? What if part two never comes out for some horrible reason? You can't give Lord of the Rings. You give Lord of the Rings the Return of the King all the Oscars. You don't. Like I said, Licorice Pizza. I was pretty fond of. I still want to see Tammy Baker. The Eyes of Tammy Baker. My brother said it was great. I don't know if he thought it should have won. There were some other ones. What were the other nominees? A lot of them I didn't see. Belfast, didn't see. Power of the Dog, didn't see. King Richard, didn't see. Nightmare Alley, I did see. That was a weird one. I don't think that should have won. It was okay. It's a guy, people eating chicken heads, eating in the circus. It was interesting though. I did like Nightmare Alley. It was good. Guillermo del Toro stuff. Don't Look Up. I wouldn't have been able to tolerate Don't Look Up winning. Not that I didn't like the movie. It's just the movie's too heavy-handed. The movie's basically bashing you on the head, what your opinion should be, how you should feel about the current situation. There's no, subtlety. And the movie was fun, don't get me wrong, but also the Oscars are going to really, really wait until the last possible minute to give Netflix the best picture of the year. Like, it's not going to happen anytime soon because just on principle alone, the second that a Netflix movie wins best picture, or even a Hulu movie or something for that matter, the theaters are officially dead at that point. Or at that point, the theaters are officially like a niche, outdated technology, the way of Blockbuster. The second that Netflix takes home a Best Picture Oscar, that's it. Theaters are just going to be for like art house movies, and not true. The main theaters are just going to be nothing but spectacle films, like the fucking roller coaster rides. That's the movie theaters basically going to become an amusement park where you only pay for movies with the bombastic special effects, the Marvel movies, the franchises, the famous intellectual properties, the powerhouses, the comic book movies, the video game adaptations, all the unnecessary sequel and and reboots from bankrupt Hollywood. They're just so out of ideas, and you see some actually original movies, and it's good to know that they're still getting awards, but at the same time, nobody's watching these fucking movies. I didn't see Drive My Car. I heard it was good. I did see Licorice Pizza. I did see West Side Story. Licorice Pizza, like I said, I loved it, but I could totally get if you thought it was a little weird. I mean, it was kind of like The Professional. You got Jean Reno, with his weird ass relationship with Natalie Portman, 10-year-old. I mean, that's a good movie, but damn, it's French. Let me put it that mildly. It's very French with the whole Matilda romance with Leon stuff. And luckily they kind of handle it well. They just brush it off and Leon just kind of ignores it. I mean, I don't know. The same thing with Licorice Pizza. It's like, she's like 25 and he's 15. And it's like, yeah, but he's the one that's just into her. He's approaching her and he's very mature for his age. He's a smart kid. He knows what he's doing. And God damn it, that little fucker charmed the pants off of me. He was a suave little fucker. And he's Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, So Gary Valentine and Alana Hain, she was great. And I don't know if you know her. She's the youngest of the band Hain. Paul Thomas Anderson had directed a few films or music videos for them. They got some good songs that you probably have heard maybe on on KUTX or some college radio or indie rock stuff. Alana's sisters in the movie Licorice Pizza, they are her real life sisters and her real life bandmates. So that's interesting. Yeah, what else? West Side Story. I saw that in the theaters. It was the first movie I'd seen in theaters since the COVID pandemic, but probably since Endgame. Avengers Endgame. It really did mark the end of so much with movies, not just the Marvel, the good Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also just like so much in general. Endgame was very prophetic, to say the least, in terms of, I don't know, art imitating life in some way. But anyway, going to see West Side Story, it was me and a friend of mine, the only people in the theater, period. And this is like not, this is like in the evening, brand new show, Steven Spielberg movie. Fucking no one in the theater. We had the whole theater to ourselves. It was awesome. But the movie was good. I mean, but it is basically a note for note remake of the original. And the original won Best Picture. So there's really no point in doing it twice over. There's really no point. And Steven Spielberg, that motherfucker, he's, you think he's losing his edge, but you realize that guy, he's just such a pro. And when it comes to choreographing these musical numbers and filming this stuff, the guy really does have like a vision. The guy really has like a style. And he came out and was like, I'm never doing another fucking musical again. This shit's hard. Shit's not cool. But damn, he did a good job. There's some great choreography. And the young lady who won Best Supporting Actress, she fucking stole the show. She totally stole the show to that movie. And I was very delighted to find out she had won. Her name, let's see here. She was so great. Oh, come on. View all. Here we go. Best Supporting Actress, Adriana DeBose. DeBose? She was sexy and funny and just totally commanding every scene she's in. She beat Judi Dench. She beat Dame Judi Dench. Kirsten Dunst was nominated for Power of the Dog. Jessie Buckley, she was nominated for Lost Daughter. This is Best Supporting Actress. Best Actress was Chastain in Eyes of Tammy Faye, which I do want to see. And I was very happy that Lady Gaga and House of Gucci were snubbed this year because it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. And it had this very like Oscar bait vibe. And some of my lady friends were talking about how it's the best movie of the year. And I watched it and it was meh. It was okay. It was all right. I mean, what else did we get? I didn't watch the Oscars either. I was watching Pam and Tommy last night on Hulu, which I don't know if you guys have seen Pam and Tommy, but it was outstanding. I mean, I don't know if it was outstanding. It was a fun movie. It was a fun 8-hour movie and had some great, themes and story and original. But what was really outstanding was the title characters, Lily James and Sebastian Stan as Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. We don't use this term often when we talk about acting, but totally transformative, like Daniel Day-Lewis style, where this lady, she was Pamela Anderson. It was so crazy. You're watching this movie or this show miniseries, and like every hour or two, you have to remind yourself, like, this is an actress. This is an actor. This is not Tommy Lee. These people did great. And like, they gave Lily James, I don't know if we can, because she got fake boobs, like a breast plate that looked like big fake titties. She had a forehead, she had like a forehead prosthetic to make her look more like Pamela Lee. It was crazy. Let's see if I can look up some pictures of the makeup without any nudity. But holy hell, like, it was amazing. It was amazing how great she looked in terms of the makeup. Very, 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 very well done. We got here, I mean, yeah, it's uncanny. It really is. I mean, I guess you could see it's not so bad right here. in terms of the transformation. But yeah, really, really well done stuff. Which is funny because the guy who played Jay Leno, his makeup was atrocious. He literally looked like a damn Dick Tracy villain. It was crazy. So I don't know what happened with that. They really dropped the ball on that one. But anyway, watching Pam and Tommy last night, and we had like 6 hours to go. 6 episodes. We only watched the first 2. So we're like, we'll watch another 2. We ended up watching the whole show because it really hooks you around the 4th episode, because you realize it becomes much more than just the sex tape. It's all about like the 90s media blitzes and, you know, the internet and all this other stuff. That's like, it really tackles some big themes. It was a great watch. And, you know, I you know how I feel about these overly long, unnecessary shows and miniseries, but this one really felt like it used its 8 hours wisely. Didn't get redundant, didn't drag, kept keeping the story fresh and going in interesting directions. Over and all, I'd recommend it. But of course, we're like halfway through the show. We're about 2 hours done from the finale. And I just get I see the first post, and I'm just scrolling through Facebook, and it's my friend Cassandra. Will Smith just rocked Chris Rock's face at the Oscars. And I read that and I was like, surely she means that non-literally. I fucking Google Will Smith, Chris Rock, and everywhere it's just like breaking news 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. Will Smith confronts Chris Rock on stage. And it's like, okay. And you watch the video, and it's the Australian uncensored video. And it's just so, we all saw it. We're not going to play it. We know what happened. But yeah, I first thought was like, this is fake. This is staged. Because let's be real here. Nobody's watching the Oscars right now. The Oscars ratings are so abysmal. They're so in the trash. And it's partly because of all this, you know, political pandering that you see in it every year for the past 5 or 6 years. Really bad. And it just gets worse every year. But who'd have thought that just some good old-fashioned gratuitous violence, some just good old-fashioned assault and battery. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but that is what is going to turn the heads. That's what's going to get Oscars back on the map. That is what's going to get people talking about it. The water cooler event, as they like to call it. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have put it past them. And they are actors, you know, but upon watching more of this, like, I got to say, if it was staged, I don't think Chris Rock knew about it. Because after that guy got slapped, he is visibly shook. And he's really doing a good job maintaining his composure. And he did a fantastic job diffusing that and handling that situation. I mean, I'd like to talk about this in full, but I mean, are we going to get into it? We're 30 minutes in the stream. Should we just get into the slap heard around the world? We might as well. But I mean, first and foremost, the correct answer for those of you playing at home, the correct answer is violence is not the answer, especially when someone is just making fun of you with jokes, with words. You really need to toughen up, period. That is the correct answer. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Will Smith himself, just an hour ago, came out, publicly apologized, basically agreed with everything that we sane, rational people have been saying the past, 20 hours. Slapping someone, even though it's a weak slap and it looked fake, it's like, come on, man. There are ways to handle that situation, that specific situation, because of course it's always determined by the specific situation. If something more drastic had happened, maybe I would have been helping Will Smith kick Chris Rock's ass myself. If something actually truly heinous had occurred. And I gotta say, I got pretty perturbed by people saying that, oh, well, it's alopecia. You can't make fun of Jada Pinkett because she has alopecia. Fucking alopecia is being bald. Male pattern baldness is alopecia. We make fun of bald people all the time. Okay? like all the time. And we can't make fun of anyone for not being for something they can't control, for being sick. The same people saying this shit. How often do we all make fun of Trump's stupid hair? How often, didn't we all laugh and fucking snicker when Rush Limbaugh died of lung cancer? I mean, oh, okay, all right. And to be honest, I would have taken Jada Pinkett's quote unquote hateful, uh, insensitive joke. Like, you take that in stride, you can turn that into an empowering compliment. Hey, Jada, see you in G.I. Jane 2. Bitch, you look like a fucking Marine. You look badass. Like, that's how most narcissistic actors would take that. Oh, thank you. Oh, G.I. Jane too. I'll let my agent know. But I understand. Alopecia is not something you want, especially if you're a woman. I totally get it. That makes perfect sense. There's such a stigma around losing your hair. It's true for men too, and millions of men deal with baldness. Let me show you this. My beautiful head of hair. I am blessed, okay, with a thick head of locks. I saw a post the other day and it was a picture of Brendan Fraser and a picture of fucking Joey from Friends. It's like, why don't people have this haircut anymore? And it's like, I got this hair right now, this hairstyle. This, can't see my part. It's too dark in this room, but I got good hair. I got good hair. So I can't relate to people with alopecia, but I gotta say, if I start going bald, it's fucking getting shaved immediately. And that's it. And if you want to make fun of me for being bald, that's a low blow. But I mean, I'm certainly going to be able to laugh it off, especially if it's like a one-time thing at a fucking award show or something. I don't know what to say. Chris Rock took a slap in the face like a champion, and Jada Pinkett couldn't even take a mild roasting, saying she looks good with a shaved head. She does. She looks fucking hot. She looks great with a shaved head and at her age. I could totally understand why Will Smith is such a cuckold simp for her and why he loves her so much. I get it. I mean, the fact that he's willing to stand up for another man's woman like that. No, but seriously, that was kind of the root of my post last night. Or I guess, yeah, last night. And it was basically, this is the second time Will Smith has been embarrassed or embarrassed himself on behalf of his wife. And we really got to understand, I'm seeing people saying this is a racial issue. This bald head alopecia joke, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, this is a racial issue. Maybe to some degree, but the idea that white people, you all better not, I don't need to hear your opinion on this, white people. Fucking white people don't get bald. Alopecia affects every gender, every race, every ethnicity. This is something that we can all get behind. And alopecia is also a cosmetic problem. It's not, you're not bald because of fucking cancer treatment, chemotherapy. You're not bald because of some horrific autoimmune disease. I mean, the thing about the alopecia, if I'm not mistaken, I assume Jada Pinkett has the bad alopecia where your hair falls out in thick clumps suddenly. And it's very traumatic, I'm sure. But you have to understand, Jada is one of the lucky ones where she fucking shaved her head. She looks great. So, all right. Crisis averted. I mean, I'm sure you can take that to heart. You don't have hair anymore, but this is the way God intended you, I guess, and you're still beautiful. Some people, especially women, they do not look great with a shaved head. They have to wear wigs in order to just not look like a damn freak show. Jada Pinkett looks like a damn Wakandan warrior. She looks amazing. So to say she should be in G.I. Jane 2, that is a mild jest at best. Totally benign comment. And this idea that it's staged, who knows? If I was going to say it was staged, it's going to be to this degree. Will Smith told to do something drastic in the heat of the moment, and Chris Rock had no idea about it for authenticity. Because I understand the skepticism. If this kind of shit happens at the Oscars, is it A, to get Oscars relevant again, and B, are they trying to distract us from some other news out there that we're not supposed to know about? I understand that feeling, that weird tinfoil hat feeling you have, something bigger is happening. And this slap is just like a distraction. I get it. I totally get it. And up until a couple hours ago, I probably would have agreed with you, but from all I can tell, it seems like it was a genuine event. Chris Rock, he's basically leaning in with his hands behind his back, like bracing himself. I don't think he was expecting to get slapped. I'm pretty sure he was expecting to have him whisper some jostle in his ear, tell him some, hey, yo, you better not fucking talk about my wife, motherfucker. You know, something like that. I don't know what to say. I don't think he was genuinely shocked. You can tell, like, Chris Rock's a good actor. He's not a fucking great actor. And if he was acting, that was fucking great acting. Where he's just like, and it's so funny because, like, it doesn't happen often, but it does sometimes happen where two people get into a fight, someone attacks someone, and the attacker is the one crying, and the one who's been attacked is now laughing and just got a big smile on his face. It's like, what the hell just happened? That is rare, but it was touching. And I am going to go ahead and spoil this and say that Will Smith did publicly apologize. So all of these opinions, stemming from before that revelation are outdated. New evidence has come to light. Will Smith has apologized profusely. So yeah, like I said, if you were the one saying that Chris Rock crossed the line and Will Smith did nothing wrong, Will Smith himself disagrees with you. So silence yourself. Please humble yourself. Learn to realize that it's okay to be wrong. I had a friend totally block me and unfriend me and drop me like a fucking bad habit because I was not tolerating her ridiculous rhetoric that she started posting on my feed. I'll get into that later, but the idea that you're going to unfriend me over fucking something Jada Pinkett and Will Smith did, that alone is so ridiculous. Let alone the fact that Will Smith came out and was like, I was wrong. I mean, well, okay, I bet you feel like a fucking jackass, don't you? No, because you're a vapid idiot. You get all your opinions dictated to you. That was the other thing. I came out here with this hot take that basically, yeah, Will Smith embarrassing in front of himself, in front of the world to appease his wife. And you can tell that what happened was something involving that relationship. This is not a racial issue. This is not a misogynistic issue. This is an issue of being in like a toxic relationship to where you're on such pins and needles around your spouse that like she can passively aggressively convince you to attack someone over some nonsense. Like you're basically so on edge with your own personal life that you're lashing out at other people. Okay? Like it's unacceptable, period. And like I said, I had a few acquaintances saying this is a good thing, that what Will Smith did was right. Absolutely not. What if Will Smith had gotten on stage and just ran at him and tackled him and started pummeling him in the face? Would that have been cool too? What if he fucking got a knife out? Like, I don't understand. You have to understand, all violence is violence and all words are words. The worst words can do is become harassment or incitement of violence. Words themselves cannot be violence. Do you understand? Why is that so hard to get through your fucking head? Words are not violence. Okay? Now, granted, if these hurtful, hateful words come at the point to where they're insistent and you can't escape them, that is harassment. And that is wrong. So there is a line to cross. Okay? But at a fucking award show saying that Jada Pinkett, she's basically surrounded by white elitists and they basically were ridiculing her in front of her her friends and peers, and she just, she's an innocent victim. And it's like, yeah, I mean, maybe to some degree, but you don't think Jada Pinkett and Will Smith aren't elites? What is Will Smith was the highest paid actor in the world for most of the 90s and early 2000s. So no, they are part of that group. You fucking anti 1%ers, you eat the tax the rich people. Will Smith isn't your fucking friend then. Will Smith is your enemy based on your own decrees, okay, of taxing and eating the rich. Will Smith is the rich. Jada Pinkett is the rich. In fact, Jada Pinkett, I mean, the Smiths in general, I mean, they seem, I don't want to get too personal. And like I said, I mean, all is forgiven, I guess, with Will Smith and Chris Rock, but you got to admit that is a family of narcissists for real. Like Will Smith, I mean, I get it. I do get it. Like you're the head shit in Hollywood for a long time. basically since Independence Day. And, he started doing all the, Men in Black, Bad Boys. What are the good ones? Independence Day, Enemy of the State, Max.
What up?
How are you, my friend?
Good, man.
Where are you?
I'm in Albuquerque.
Good.
In my living room.
Good job. How's work going? Working in movies?
Today was good. I dug a grave. That was fun.
A fake grave or a real grave for a real body?
I can't talk about that.
Okay.
So, very, very classified, confidential.
Nice.
Let's just say we're dealing with him anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just listing off like Will Smith's good movies. I was getting into
hell yeah.
I mean, I was basically saying like we all saw The Slap. You saw The Slap. You have heard about this, right?
Yeah.
Of course. What are your thoughts on some of these takes going around?
Well, first and foremost, man, you can't be doing that kind of shit. I don't give a fuck what the circumstances are. Like,
you mean slapping or making fun of bald people?
Slapping people. I feel like slapping people is better than making fun of bald people, but I feel like there's also maybe some like underlying shit going on there that we don't know about. You know what I mean?
No, we definitely know about it. It's basically Jada Pinkett has cuckolded Will Smith in front of millions of people, and it seems like, I don't want to be a dick, but it just seems like, Will Smith is like I said, he just seems like very cuckoldish, and he loves his wife, which is, you can't fault him for it because she's beautiful. She's the mother of his children, and you could tell he wants it to work. But she's out fucking his son's friends, and she just seems kind of hell-bent on humiliating him.
Yeah.
Because he's much more famous than him, and not because, but she just seems hell-bent on humiliating her much more famous and successful husband. And this passive-aggressively, we all saw the incident. Will Smith is laughing at the joke. See you in G.I. Jane 2. Yep. Saying, you look like a badass Marine. I don't understand how that is a hateful insult. Yes, she has alopecia. Chris Rock claims he didn't know that. Even if he did, I was just saying, like, I'm seeing a lot of comments like, well, she has alopecia. It's a medical condition. Well, yeah, that's what genetic male baldness is too. It is also alopecia. It's also a medical condition. Yeah. You think men who go bald aren't you think they're jazzed about that? It's a horrible stigma to go bald.
Yeah.
We've got bald friends.
Fuck
you and I are blessed with heads of luscious hair. People think I'm in my late 20s.
Well, my hair will be probably turning gray pretty soon here, honestly. So
yeah, but I would love to go salt and pepper. You look classy when you do that, but when you go bald and gray, that's weird. Poor bastard. Yeah. But when you go completely bald, like, that's the thing. Like, you suppose you have like what I assume Jada Pinkett has, the bad alopecia, where your hair comes out in thick clumps, like very suddenly. And in that case, you just kind of shave it off, just deal with it. But like I was saying, she looks good. She's one of the fortunate ones. She looks like a fucking Wakandan warrior.
Yeah, she does.
She looks sexy as hell. And I understand, like I said, I understand why Will Smith simps for his wife. She's a babe. She's still got it on. Black don't crack, man. And you could tell she's fierce. You can tell she's got that Will Smith on a damn leash, but it is, like you said, to a point where there is something else underlyingly going on here. I don't think Will Smith is happy that Jada is banging his son's friends and bragging about it on her podcast. Yep. And bringing him on the show and talking about how it's his fault for not noticing. Right. And, this like typical toxic femininity, female empowering bullshit, where it's like, if a man did this to his wife, he would be considered a goddamn asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that when Jada tells him this stuff on the podcast, that Will Smith is really hurting, and he's really holding back the tears and the rage, and he's just doing his best to maintain his composure. And what happened last night was something where we've all seen the jokes, the memes, where basically he's laughing. He looks at Jada. You could tell that there was a second where the camera cut off of them.
Yep.
During those 5 or 6 seconds, she gave him that fucking look. Like, you better wipe that smile off your face, kind of. And Will Smith had a moment of reflection, like, I got to do something. And I feel like he just went overboard on the damage control.
Yeah, he had no self-control on that one,
And like I said a second ago, Chris Rock, it seems like he's coming in like thinking like, oh, here comes Will to come tell me a joke in my ear, or tell me something. And he just slaps the shit out of him and walks off. And he doesn't really slap him that hard.
No.
Like he gave him a little bitch slap.
Yeah.
And which
Yeah.
is why people think it could have been staged. But like I was saying, like if you think that's okay, people defending him saying Will Smith did absolutely the right thing,
No.
and Chris Rock is the one who crossed the line. Well, what if Will Smith had run up there and tackled him and just started pummeling him in the head? Would that have been okay? Because slapping and punching, they're basically the same thing. They're both assault. Okay. Now, obviously, one is worse than the other, but and Chris Rock, I gotta say, like I said, he took the joke, he took the slap way better than Jada took that joke.
Oh
And
yeah.
he moved on with the thing. They had a bro out moment after, I'm sure.
Did they?
And
You think they're cool now?
yeah, so Puff Daddy broke the news earlier today that they did squash their beef at the after Oscars party. So thankfully, Puffy was on the scene with his reporting. But just recently, both of them came out and apologized to each other. Chris Rock on Twitter saying he wasn't aware she had alopecia and he's sorry he crossed the line. He's gonna do better. You know, you're not trying to be completely insensitive. You're not trying to be just a dickhead. You're just trying to tell some jokes, you know, and you're not trying to be mean about it. But that being said, Will Smith came out and said absolutely he was in the wrong. Never is this kind of shit acceptable. Violence, you know, never is this stuff you know, basically all the people that were saying Will Smith was right, Will Smith came out and completely disavowed all of those people, disagreed with them completely. And I was saying earlier, I had a friend or, you know, an acquaintance just basically come in my thread and post like some ridiculous racist shit. And
No.
I had to call her out. Like, what is this shit? And the best part is she starts out and she, like I said, she totally blocked me and unfriended me at the drop of a hat because I said, this is wrong. This is stupid. Don't fucking post this shit. This is ridiculous. And she's basically like, oh, well, you're done. And then blocked.
Damn.
See ya. Fuck, a couple hours later, Will Smith himself basically comes out and vindicates me that I was right. You know, it had nothing. And this idea that this was a racial event. No, that's what basically this comment was. It was, and the best part is it starts off with, you know, I'm trying to look for the words to what to say, so I'm just going to copy and paste. So it's like, oh God. So I'm not even going to form my own fucking opinion on this matter. I'm just going to basically dictate what was dictated to me on what to think about this situation. And it's just a fucking 18 paragraph diatribe about how everything is misogynoir.
Oh
Not
boy.
misogyny, but misogynoir. So like you're racist and sexist towards black women. Everything that has ever happened to Jada Pinkett or any other black woman is just racism. And all white people need to shut their mouth and not have any opinion on this matter, as if white people don't get bald, as if white people don't have toxic spouses. I mean, no. And the best part is I would have let that slide and just kind of ignored it. But then at the very end of the fucking diatribe, whoever she copied and pasted this post from, they link all their Cash Apps and PayPals and Venmos. Hey, now that I got your attention, send me money. You're a fucking grifter. You have now discredited anything you have said. Like on my Facebook post about this situation, could you imagine if I gave my 2 cents basically saying, hey, if you agree that assault is the right and appropriate and understandable response, then you are either a dangerous idiot or mentally unstable.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I capsed it and then I, ended it with, by the way, here's my Venmo. Send me money. Could you imagine the fucking vitriol I would have gotten? Rightfully so.
Who does that? Like who actually
Idiots.
gives people money?
Broke communist losers. That's who. And that's what I said. I was like, look, I just basically said, this is the worst take in the entire thread. This is the worst comment in the entire thread. And then I expanded upon that saying, look, like if you next time, just form your own opinion. I won't, I'm going to give you a pass because this is just copy and pasted, but don't be pasting militant, racist garbage on my feed and acting like, what the fuck is this? Like, no, I'm not going to entertain this. And then she's just like, all right, well, bye. And it's like, and I'm like, first of all, I barely fucking know you. I've only encountered you a few times in burns and parties and raves, and like all the interactions we've had are fucking surface level at best. And you're acting like I'm going to be so devastated that you're not my Facebook friend anymore. What's going to happen is I'm going to run into you at a fucking event and you're going to look like an idiot because you unfriended me over Jada Pinkett Smith. Like, that's what's going to happen. And I'm just going to be totally cool as a cucumber because it's like, I don't give a shit. if you disagree with me about this. Like, the point is, we're allowed to disagree with each other, but according to Will Smith, you are wrong. So, so according to the man himself, he fucked up, which rightfully so. And like I said, once he dropped the apology, I fucking posted about it on the thread, and I was like, yo, also, you know, this needed to be said, but congratulations to Will Smith for his first Oscar win. And like he said in his apology, like, he basically ruined this perfectly awesome night for him. And I really think Jada Pinkett had a big, you know, passive aggressively kind of pulled the strings. Like, she didn't say a word, but she basically got him to fucking ruin that night for him, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, it's because she's got his balls in a vice. And it's one of these things where, like, Will Smith needs to leave her because he's Will Smith. He can easily get another wife. And this woman is, you know, we talk about toxic masculinity. Well, toxic femininity is a real thing too. And toxic spouse, you know, abusive spouses. The idea that you are in a poly relationship and your partner has no say on who you get to fuck and they don't fucking, you know, they're not fucking anyone else. Like, you can tell that this is a one-sided situation. And we see this all the time in certain polyamorous relationships, open relationships, where it's obviously one person's idea and the other person is just kind of being dragged along with it against their will because they love that person.
Mm-hmm.
And it always implodes. It always implodes every time. I've seen it so many times with my friends. So it's one of those things. Did you see Coda?
Yep.
Oh man, I was just talking about it. How, like, you know, it won Best Picture. Good for them. Good for the dad. He first deaf actor to win Best Actor.
That's cool.
That's got to be. Yeah, I was talking about how that's got to be difficult to have an actual deaf actor in the set. Like, what if like one of the crew guys or one of the actors was literally deaf? Like, how do you all work with him?
Well, I'll tell you that the movies are very accommodating.
Right. And then furthermore, I was talking about, like, it's probably much harder if you had an actually blind actor because you got to print braille scripts out for them. You gotta, you know, how do they take direction when they're on stage, on set, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's difficult, but I'm sure it can be done. It's just same thing with like having animals and children acting in your movie. You're setting yourself up for a challenge. So props to them for doing it. And again, the thing, it's like one of these things. It's like, we don't hate representation. Nobody was upset that they made a movie with deaf people in it, you know?
Cool.
But this idea that, like, you can never make fun of black women for anything. It's like, no, what are you talking about? Like, Jada Pinkett being compared to a Navy SEAL, hardly a fucking insult. Like I said, if Chris Rock had said that Jada Pinkett looks like a testicle, you know, something way out of line like that, for sure. Like, I understand.
Or like saying something like, "Oh, I guess we're not the only people that are going to sleep with her," or something like that. Like,
oh, if he had made a joke about her cucking Will, she would have been laughing. Well, I fucking guarantee it. I guarantee it. If she had made a joke about Will Smith, you know, getting about Jada Pinkett fucking her son's friend, you know, about her son's friend August is basically her boyfriend. Will would have been the one, you know, making the face, and Jada Pinkett would have been laughing. And you think Jada Pinkett would have defended his honor?
Hell
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. But I don't, you know, and this idea, like, yeah, you want your man to defend you, ladies, but if he's the kind of guy that's going to run up on stage at the fucking Oscars and slap a high profile celebrity, that's a wild loose cannon. Like, if you're going to rough up somebody because he's like fucking, you know, disparaging your woman, you do that shit in private. You wait till the Oscars after party. You go fucking encounter him at the parking lot like a man. And you'd be like, hey, man, it's just me and you now. You don't have any fucking witnesses, dog. You don't go up and slap him, make you look like a fool in front of the world. And everyone else who's vehemently defending Will Smith, saying Chris Rock was 100% in the wrong and he deserved to get slapped, you are making a fool out of yourself as well. I am sorry. So I guess that's, yeah, I mean,
maybe he's on like some like weird new antidepressant or something.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's much more. It's one of those straw breaking the camel's back type situations. That's what happened. You can tell that, like, there was I wish the camera had stayed on him, because what happens is you see him laughing and you see the smile just drop right off of fucking Jada's face.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, when the camera cut back to Chris and he's just like, what? That was a nice joke. That wasn't even that bad. You know, he's basically saying, like, what? She looks like she should be in G.I. Jane. Big deal. And then somewhere in that 6 seconds, I wish we could see that interaction between the two of them, because something happened but also Matthew Huff coming in here and making a good point. Like, why didn't Will get escorted out? If you do that anywhere else, you're going to get removed. Even if it's in the dark dive bar and 70% of the people can't see anything, you're getting thrown out. Exactly. And imagine if it wasn't Will Smith who went up and slapped. Imagine if some rando walked up there and slapped Chris Rock. He would have been fucking tased on sight.
Oh, yeah.
But because it's Will Smith, like, what kind of privilege is that, where you get to go up and slap a smaller man than you for making a joke at an award show, and then you get to sit down and then win an award a few minutes, like a half an hour later? That's crazy. Like, you know, this whole like idea of this privilege nonsense. It's like, no, I mean, it's just assholes being assholes. And this idea, like I said, this idea that it's somehow a racist thing, it's all misogynoir. First of all, if you're coming into my feed writing buzzwords like misogynoir, or you spell the word white people like WT people, you're like afraid to write the word white, you're a racist. It's that fucking simple. I can't, I'm so baffled by people who try to justify this, because the Twitter Illuminati, the fucking social media 4chan, or not 4chan, the what was the old one that everyone used to use?
Not 4chan, but the
one for all the anime dweebs.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, yeah. The point is, like, your fucking internet far leftist communist friends basically telling you everything's racist, everything's misogynistic, everything is privilege, everything is, like I said, we can't make fun of Jada Pinkett for having alopecia, but we can make fun of any other man for being bald. We can make fun of a woman for being bald if she has different political opinions than you. You can make fun of Rush Limbaugh for dying of lung cancer. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there were some fucking great jokes when Rush Limbaugh died. Yeah, they were fucking dark. They were dark and they were mean, but they were funny. And it's not like, I'm getting upset about that. But what's fucked up is those same people are saying, you can't make fun of Jada Pinkett for her alopecia. Yes, we can. If she's being a bitch, I could really rail on her for being bald. And the fact that, like, the internet is not forgiving when it comes to letting people know what pushes your buttons. Like, when you react this way to something like a joke like that, the internet is going to double and triple down on you. The trolls are never going to stop bringing up his bald wife, who's cucked him with his son's friend. And hopefully this apology that he did, it seemed heartfelt. So, I mean, hopefully everyone goes easy on him. I've kind of moved past it. Like I said earlier, like, everything I'm about to say about these opinions are outdated now because Will Smith has apologized. So, like I said, no hate to Will Smith, and certainly no hate to Chris Rock. But if we're going to pick someone who did the wrong thing, it was both of them. It's like, no, not really. Because Chris Rock's joke wasn't that bad. I'm sorry. And it is a joke. He's a comedian. Do you know what he does for a living? That's what he does for a living.
Didn't he, what was it? What was the one where he comes out wearing the shiny suit? Remember? And there's like the shiny floor.
I didn't watch any of the Oscars. I didn't watch any of it except for that.
It was a Chris Rock stand-up special in like 1999 or something.
Oh, there's Bigger and Blacker is the big
Bigger
one.
and Blacker. That's the one. So he basically, a big part of that skit, he goes, next time somebody disrespects you, like, I think he says, like, smudge your sneaker or something, let it slide.
Yes. Yeah. And look, like, all these people who talk about how everything is racist, basically just championing black on black violence at the Oscars. It's like, no, you brothers and sisters got to stop fighting each other over trivial bullshit, white or black or whatever. But, like, all these fucking, the same people that are talking about how everything is, racism. These are the same people talking about, like, they're just frothing at the mouth that Will Smith defended his woman's honor. And now, granted, if you can admit that what Will Smith did was wrong, but you would do the same thing anyway, like, hey, I know it's wrong, but if you make fun of my woman, I'm going to beat your ass. Like, that's fine. Respect. Yeah. Respect. Because you at least admit, I'm taking it to the next level. I'm the one fucking taking it there. Cause if you're gonna fucking say this about my fucking woman, I'm gonna break your fucking skull. Like, it's like, all right, dude. Like, I'm not gonna say anything about your woman then if you're fucking that serious about it. I get it. But at least you're willing to admit I'm the bad guy here. Like,
That
I'll
was
take it.
it was just not the stage for that kind of behavior. Like it's just
No.
that was completely inappropriate on Will Smith's part.
And you know, up until recently, I was thinking it was staged. Now I'm not so sure. But I mean, if it was staged, like, let's talk about the reasons why you would stage it. First of all, it's not like it's going to give the Oscars more ratings. It's just going to give the Oscars more,
eyeballs.
more viral clicks on that one moment. And
Yeah.
also, like, do you really think? I mean, this is a literal, real question, but like, do you think people are going to tune into next year's Oscars hoping that another fight breaks out? I don't know.
I mean, what would have happened if they would have let like Kanye West in there? He would have done some crazy shit.
What if Chris Rock just started fighting back? Like, what if it just turned into a fucking wrestling match and both of them just started fucking like rolling around on the floor in front? You know, that would have been, what the hell?
Someone would have ran out there.
Dude, security should have been out there. Like, yeah, exactly like Matt said. Like, why isn't he escorted out? Because I don't know, it seems staged. That's what made it seem staged. Also, here's the other thing: live television isn't live. There's a fucking 10-second delay.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever we saw, they wanted us to see that. They
it was
decided
intentionally
they could have
shown.
easily cut that shit out. Cut to commercial. But Matt's over here saying something else. Matt, if you want to come in here, also, you know, feel free to. I'll send you the link if you want. Okay, and the acceptance speech being about him being a vessel for love. Yeah, 10 minutes after he just assaulted someone was so weird and cringe. Yes, that was the most awkward Oscar win ever. And like I said, he kind of ruined his big moment. It's his first win. Best actor. He'd been nominated before with Pursuit of Happiness, which I never saw, but I didn't see King Richard either, but I'll probably check it out now. But
what about
I mean, yeah, dude, welcome to Earth.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite line of the whole movie.
He should have said that to Chris Rock. He should have said that.
Dude, welcome to Earth, and just slap the shit out of him. Dude, I mean, honestly, that would have been also wrong, but way funnier. Like, that would have been hilarious. Yo, welcome to Earth.
Like, took the mic and like said it and then just punched him in the head or something.
Other reasons why people think it was fake is because, like, it seems like, you know, when he slaps, because when you slap, this hand goes back, not towards your chest. So they think like he's making like the slap sound with his hand, maybe like wrestling style, you know, like throwing punches. Also, the fact that Chris Rock kind of leans into it, unflinching, you know, but I feel like if it was staged, like Chris Rock was the only one who didn't know about it. Like someone went up to Will Smith and was like, you know, we can't let anyone know about all these Nazis in the Ukraine. So we got a distraction on the news. So in 20 minutes, you need to go up on stage and fucking slap Chris Rock. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened. Also, like, what if Chris Rock didn't write the joke? What if he's just reading the fucking teleprompter and someone else wrote it? You know, like, do we know that? It's so weird.
I can't imagine that there's a whole lot of freestyling going on, but there might have been.
I mean, he's a pro. He's a pro. I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, I'd like to think he writes his own material at the Oscars.
Yeah, and he may have like pulled it out of his ass and been like, "We'll try this one on him."
Hey, you look like G.I. Jane. I mean, like I said, that's like, if someone said, "Hey, you look like even if someone said to me like I look like G.I. Jane, I'd be like, thanks. You know, I don't know what to say to that. But like, you're a woman, and someone with a shaved head, and someone says, "Yeah, dude, you should be in G.I. Jane too." That is a fucking moment where you just kind of thanks, I guess.
Kind of stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have alopecia, just so you know, so I'm actually kind of sensitive about it, but I appreciate your poor effort at a compliment. I mean, it's one of those things where Jada Pinkett could have played it cool, and it could have been the best night for the Smiths. You know, Jada Pinkett taking that offhanded, you know, kind of, out of off-color joke, you know, and turning it, you know, in her favor, you know, taking it like an empowering compliment. I look like a Marine. Start flexing your muscles. Yeah, you know, something like that. That's what you do in these types of situations where someone's roasting you, you know, and then Will Smith would have won his Oscar and they would have gone home happy. And, you know, now this whole evening has been just tarnished with this. This is why we think we're not in timeline A anymore. We're in the weird timeline B or C where everything's fucking wackadoo world, where we're seeing Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. Like, what the fuck? And then we got our friends who are so polluted, so poisoned by partisan fear mongering, that they feel like they have to come out in support of it, or they might what? They might be called a racist or a sexist if you don't agree that Chris Rock can't make fun of Jada. The reason why that you can't make fun of Jada Pinkett is because she's one of these, the feminist icons. The feminists, they love her. But it's like if he had made fun of fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene, they love that shit. Nobody cares about these people. It's all about like your fucking political siding. It's all about who you work for or what you've done. It's stupid. It's all hypocrisy. Like either violence is okay or it's not okay. If it's okay for these people, then it's okay for other people down the line. That's how it works. So that's why it's not okay, because you're opening doors. Violence begets violence. It's that simple. And words aren't violence. I said this earlier. Words are not violence, no matter how fucking hard you try. The worst words could be is like harassment or incitement of violence. So, and those are both illegal. Those are both bad.
Very bad.
If you're getting at a point where like I'm insulting you and I'm insulting you all the time and you can't escape it, you can't turn it off, you can't, like I'm in your ear no matter what you do, that's harassment.
Then you must choose violence.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, it's like I'm saying, you're allowed to choose violence as long as you admit you're the one taking it to the next level. You're the one who's taking it to the bad place. Because normally what you do is you just do more fucking jokes. Make fun of Chris Rock and his big dumb teeth or something. I don't know. Like it's, who gives a shit? Can we not make fun of Chris Rock and his ridiculous donkey face? I mean, like he's got a ridiculous smile. And is it just me or did he look like he had like some kind of Botox going on his lips or something?
Yeah.
Did he get like cosmetic work?
These guys are all old now, dude. They're like old now.
I mean, the thing is most, black people age very gracefully, but there is something with like Chris Rock's, I think it's because he's shaved maybe. I'm not used to seeing him so baby-faced, but it looked like he has like lip injections or something because when he's smiling.
He fucking does, dude. That's what they do out there in California, man. It's
so awkward. So awkward. And like Bill Burr said, it's like the plastic surgery shit doesn't work. We can see past it. It's not fooling anybody.
It's weird. You're gonna look like the fucking Bogdanovs, and it's weird, man.
Bill Burr said it best, where he was like, "Do you want to look like a 50-year-old woman or a 30-year-old lizard?" Like, there's really no context. Like I said, like I can't wait to get all gray. I can't wait to like start aging. I don't care.
Fuck, dude.
And if you're a woman. Helen Mirren, I've said it before. She's the hottest, oldest lady I would bang. Helen Mirren has still got it going on. And she I don't think she's gotten a bunch of work done. And then you look at other actors like Renee Zellweger and these actresses who've recently they did it. Nicole Kidman, she's not looking great. Madonna looks like a damn horror show. Madonna used to be a fucking babe in the 80s, man.
I don't know where the trend came from, but like I saw this week. So I was in Houston this weekend, and I think it's weird looking, but like they're getting like injections in their lips to make them all like huge and poofy.
Yeah, it's not good.
It looks really, really weird. And
maybe the husbands want it because it feels good on their dick. I don't know.
There would have to be some kind of reasoning for it. I can't imagine that they think it looks good.
Or what about when they get like the facelifts and they just constantly like look like they're like smiling at all times and they can't even control their face? It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Yeah. It's a bad look. Yeah. And this idea like we can't make fun of you. I mean, obviously it's a low blow to make fun of someone for their ailments, for something they can't control. But by God, you can do it. If you want to be a dick and take it there, fucking call that person fat or ugly or fucking stupid. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. If someone's upsetting you and they're being a fucking dildo, you can take it there and just be like, hey, you're a fat, bald idiot. Fuck you. No one's going to fuck you ever because you got a tiny dick. Like, that is going to hurt a man's feelings if he has all those things are true about him, Yeah.
And he knows
is he allowed to slap someone? No, not at all.
No, that was a big no-no. And it's not good because there's probably a lot of fucking children watching that shit now on fucking over and over and over again who are going to be slapping teachers now, being fucking
that's already been a thing. Fighting your teachers. It's all over TikTok, dude.
Really?
That's like a TikTok stuff. Yeah. Jump your teachers. Fucking start trash. Just start trashing the high school restroom. That's like another TikTok thing that happened.
Man,
break down all the stall doors.
Who said Americans didn't have any culture?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Like, white people aren't allowed to comment on this incident. It's like, well, if you want to play that card, my great great grandmother was 100% Apache. My mom's a second generation American, first generation American. So technically, if you want to play that card, then I am indigenous. I am oppressed. So I can talk about this shit if you want to play that card. So still, even then, you can't fucking shut me up. This is movies. You're gonna tell me I can't talk about something that happened at the fucking Oscars? You can suck my dick.
Yep.
All right. Like, and it's one of those things where I don't know. Everyone's just so poisoned right now. Everyone's so vitriolic, and it's like these people have to either understand they might be wrong. Like, please tell me, because I mean, I am pleased to say that most of the people I'm seeing are in our boat. Violence is wrong, but like those 10% of the weirdos I'm seeing who are saying it was 100% called for, saying it was absolutely necessary, punching, like, you are insane. And like I'm seeing these people, and it's like, no, wrong. It's all just another example of people, being, racist and sexist towards black women, or another situation where it's just, people. And like I said, if the joke was different, if the joke was much worse, if it was actually something where the audience was like, oh, damn. My cousin Tanya was on this thread, and she dropped a fucking serious bomb. Like not, I mean, it wasn't even really like a burn. It was just like fucking mean.
Damn.
And she's not afraid to take it there. I mean, what did she say about her? I mean, first she posted a couple memes.
Yeah,
And I was like, yeah.
Those memes.
I was like, yeah, these are funny. The memes are everywhere. The memes they're not going away for a while either. But it's like, what did my cousin Tanya? She's just like, what have we learned? She's a whore and he's got anger management problems. Nothing to see here. Bah ha 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 ha. And I was just like, damn. That is, I don't know if I agree with that, but
she's right.
That's harsh. But yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, like if you're basically forcing your spouse to deal with your polyamorous relationship against his will or her will, and
that's on him for fucking putting up. If he doesn't want anything to do with it, he just leaves.
He could, but like I said, like she's probably the love of his life, man. She's a fucking rich, famous. Like you have to understand, actors and actresses, like famous people, they have to be together because that's something that like a famous person and a non-famous person, they have already so much that they can't relate to. This is why famous people flock to each other because they at least have that big fucking thing in common. They're famous, so it's usually better that way. But also, like, yeah, like I said, she's the mother of his children. And can we just talk about how weird that fucking family is? Like this idea,
old dude. These kids are like fucking like 30 years old.
They're in their 20s at least. But I mean, what's so weird about, first of all, Jada Smith and Will Smith, they have a daughter named Willow Smith and a son named Jaden. So it's like they're named after each other. So there's so they can't have a third baby. That's the other thing. Will Smith has other son in another marriage who is not, he's like Julian Lennon, where nobody gives a fuck about him. John Lennon didn't give a fuck about Julian Lennon. And it seems like Will Smith doesn't give a shit about his other son, his oldest son. But also what's so weird is just this attitude, like me and my wife are famous. So naturally our kids are going to be famous. So we're going to pay to make the girl have music videos, and I'm going to fucking produce these god awful movie vehicles for my son to star in, like After Earth. And After Earth was so,
yeah, that was not a good movie.
And what was amazing about After Earth, you want Will Smith to make his son a movie star. Surely at some point you realize this kid can't act, or at the very least he's just not interested. He just seems like he doesn't even give a shit. He's like he's not even like running, like he's like running with like limp wrists and stuff in these action scenes. And then what's even better is you have Will Smith in the movie, who's, like I said, most of the 90s and the early 2000s, he's the highest paid actor in the world. It was Jim Carrey he did 1994. He did Dumb and Dumber. He did Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask all in 1 year.
Jim Carrey did.
Yeah, and then he became the biggest actor ever. But by 98, 99, when Cable Guy and Truman Show, his Oscar loss came out, it became obvious that Will Smith was like taking the thrones. And I think Tom Cruise before both of them. But I mean, Will Smith was the hottest shit actor in like any movie he's in, he's going to star in, and it's going to make gazillion zillion dollars.
Fucking Men in Black and fucking I Am Legend. And
this is where you came in when I was listing them. I Am Legend sucks. That was like the beginning of the end. But like in the 90s, you got Men in Black, Independence Day, Bad Boys, Enemy of the State, fucking Wild Wild West, which was stupid, but still, Men in Black 2 was great. I like Men in Black 2. I like how Men in Black 2 takes place in the course of one day. That was nice.
Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2 and Bad Boys 3. Bad Boys. Yeah. Those are some of Michael Bay's better movies. And
I forgot Michael Bay did that fucking movie.
The best is I gotta say I like the first one best just because of that 90s atmosphere, that Michael Bay music video vibe where everything is like orange, gold, sunset.
Yeah.
Everything is like the beach, Miami, and the music dun 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 dun. And then you got Mike Lowry. Oh yeah, we got Britt wanting to come in here. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let me send that to him.
I'm gonna put my Chinese food away, dude. Hold on.
Man. I'm gonna keep talking about Bad Boys real quick. But what I loved about the first Bad Boys is just
Britain.
It's that typical buddy cop movie, but it had that fresh plot where you have that gimmick was like they have to pretend to be each other.
Fucking damn fucking shit.
What happened? Did you spill your soup?
No.
Oh, thank God.
I got dumplings all over the floor, though.
Oh, your dumplings? Damn. So I'm confused. Where the soup? You had soup and dumplings.
Nothing's fucked here, dude. Everything's cool.
All right, good.
It's cool.
All right, let me get Britt in here. Shit. Britt was also one of the ones saying he made a good point where he's like, dude, we don't even see Kanye act like this. It's like that alone shows you how outrageous it is when Kanye doesn't even do this kind of level shit. But yeah, Mike Lowry, the idea that you got the hip cool cop, the ladies' man, single bachelor detective, and his partner, the Danny Glover, the family man, but the twist is they have to pretend to be each other for the witness, like that was great. And the witness, she's being hunted by drug lords and they want to kill her, and all that stuff was fun. I mean, and it's just such great opportunity for some awesome comedy. And the first Bad Boys movie still holds up. The second one, there's some awkward moments in it. I don't know. And the second Bad Boys movie does have that weird 2000s palette of the Transformers movies. What's up, Britt?
What up, y'all?
So you're out in Bastrop, right?
Oh, yeah.
No more wildfires?
Now it's like a high fire watch. Right now it's like jizzing pine pollen.
The oak is bad, I hear right now. I have an ear infection right now that I'm kind of getting over with, and it turned into like fucking diarrhea, and I got conjunctivitis, and it was to the point where like I thought I was getting all these other things from the antibiotic for the ear infection, but they're like, no, you actually probably have a viral infection, so stop taking the antibiotics. Here, we're going to give you an inhaler and a steroid pill and take Mucinex. And I was like, okay. And then as I'm at the store picking that shit up, she's like, calls me and she's like, oh, you know what? You also had some like gunk in your lungs. So you might actually have COVID, even though I'm not seeing it often. You might want to get tested. And I'm like, I've been sick for a week basically, and I haven't had a fever this whole time. I don't think I've had a fever since I was a little kid, but like, I was like, shit, is this it? Am I finally going to get COVID? I'm unvaccinated. I haven't gotten it yet. Haven't been sick in general in like 3 or 4 years, period. But I took a test and I'm negative. So it's like, I just got some kind of respiratory sinus infection that's just getting bad. But I had my eyes both get pink eye 2 days ago out of nowhere. Like
I had that like a week ago.
I was like doing the dishes, right? And then out of nowhere, like this left eye just like gets something's in my eye. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I thought I had like a piece of bread in my eye and my vision's all like blurry. And like, there's like my eye all of a sudden is like sore and tender. And I look at the bathroom mirror and my eye's all swollen and red. And I was like, oh, something's in my eye. And then like a couple hours later, the same thing happened to the other eye. I was like, okay, never mind. This is something involving this illness or this medication. But
dude, this pine pollen is like clouds. Like you can see it.
Damn, that's
when you step out. But what's funny, I'm like researching it because I've lived here for a year. I didn't see it last year in the same way. So I'm looking up pine pollen, and it literally, pine pollen has testosterone in it.
Rad. You getting all jacked up?
Yeah. It's just hilarious.
I didn't know that.
We're
Is
like,
that why outdoors men are so fucking like that? Explains why it's like that brawny lumberjack
yeah.
stereotype. They're all high on pollen testosterone.
Pine pollen.
Wow.
What kind of Britt, I got a question for you. What kind of pine trees are those? Do you know?
Yeah, they're called loblolly pines, and
Pines.
I don't think loblolly is like genetically unique, but like this strain of pine is like indigenous to this region. You know, It's like a unique genetic profile. We're like back to the 1600s. Spaniards were talking about this forest. You know, the lost pines.
Nice.
That's cool.
So Britt, I mean, a lot of times like you and I on current events, there's plenty of times where you and I probably don't agree on some things, but I feel like you and I are in the same boat. All three of us are in the same boat, right? About this Will Smith debacle.
Oh, I mean, I'm just tuning in, but it's just like hilarious, you know?
Well, it definitely is that. I mean, if it wasn't hilarious, I wouldn't have done this stream to joke about it for 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, me and Max were basically talking about how, violence is wrong. And all these people, like, what's really bewildering is like the people who are staunchly defending it, saying Chris Rock was 100% wrong and deserved to get slapped in the face. It's like, absolutely not.
Yeah, that was not the situation to choose violence, for sure.
There's plenty of situations to choose violence. And what I thought was hilarious, I don't know if you saw this, but the Academy, let me share this here. This is hilarious. I made a joke about this, but it's like the Academy came out. And the Academy says they do not condone or violence of any form. And I underlined that because I'm like, are you denouncing all these movies that have violence in them? Because violence of any form, you're basically denouncing Saving Private Ryan, The Godfather. You know, you're denouncing what else?
Gladiator.
Yeah, any movie like Shakespeare. That's what they talk about. Is like, oh, we need to stop having all these violent movies. And it's like, dude, shit's been violent since the time of Shakespeare. You know what I mean? Like everyone dies in those plays. Like it doesn't work like that. Death and murder is the ultimate drama. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's the whole dichotomy. Like, I think like the Will Smith thing is like him, like he is like literally separating all of race right around like Hollywood. You know, like obviously he's a very significant black actor, right?
The most significant black actor, I'd wager to say, in terms of box office. In terms of box office.
I mean, yes, his manager used to work for me. I know.
Wow.
Samuel L. Jackson is fucking badass.
Samuel L. Jackson's probably one of my favorites. I like Sam more.
I mean, like he's on tier with Denzel Washington, but both of them are respected as like some of the top tier actors.
Yeah,
you know, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp, blah blah blah. So to see Will like have kind of a breakdown, and I think it is kind of like the whole like stress of Hollywood, and then also his wife. Like, I don't want to get into that shit, you know.
No, we talked about the cuckolding thing a bit, but like one thing we didn't talk about is the fact that his career is dwindling. But he does this role reversal where he gets a fucking Oscar tonight, so it's like now who knows what's going on. But like his career has been like he used to be the top actor. Period. Highest paid actor in the world for a while, but that's not a thing. That hasn't been a thing for a while. And he has made a few bombs. That movie Gemini Man was bizarre.
In Hitchcock.
Hitchcock. Not Hitchcock.
Hancock.
Hancock. Yeah. I hated Hancock because I loved it. I loved the first half of it. And then it just fucking totally shit all over itself and got really dumb.
That's
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I really don't think like it's this conspiracy around like the race thing, like Kanye West or Will Smith, both some of the highest profile entertainment personas in the world, right?
These people are privileged.
Well, yeah, but not so that, but like the whole gaslighting thing in Hollywood thing is real,
Right.
you know? Where it's just crazy. Like, I don't, even like the slap and the whole Chris Rock thing is kind of like, it's a little sus, you know?
Well, when I say they're privileged, I mean it's from their own hard work and their own it's not inherited privilege that they have, but they're A-list celebrity actors. They are the elites. Like when I see like Jada Pinkett being made fun of in a room full of white elites, it's like she is an elitist. She's fucking she's the wife of Will Smith. Like they're fucking gazillionaires. They're totally like they're
I
not.
mean, yeah, that's
we
where
talk about-
it seems kind of like, you know, there's like the two camps, and I'm neutral on it. Like, I
Right.
think it was real, but like it could totally be kayfabe. Yeah, it could
Well, like I
totally
was-
be fake.
Yeah, well, like, oh yeah, the fake thing. I was saying, I would wager to say that if it is fake, I don't think Chris Rock knew about it because it seemed like someone.
Only him and Will were in on it. You know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Will, hey, what's up, Matt? How you doing?
What's
dude?
up, dude? So, yeah, I don't know if y'all seen the Chris Rock movie, but he's not the best actor in the.
Right, he's not a good actor, and the fact
No.
he was genuinely like shook and trying to
Oh, yeah,
really salvage that.
real. That was real.
So, I mean, he was definitely really slapped. I don't know if like what my friend was saying was like, you know, the idea that like when the news is like obsessing over some celebrity gossip like this, it makes you think like, what are they distracting us from? So I
Yeah,
wouldn't put it
right.
past some producer like going up to Will Smith at the commercial and be like, in 15 minutes, Chris Rock is going to make a joke and you're going to slap him. And be
Look,
like,
I'll go on my tirade for 30 seconds. Like,
that's just
I've
my
worked-
tinfoil hat theory. Okay.
I've met with all the Skitsco agencies, and I've worked with like Dick Clark Productions, which puts on the Oscars. They completely produce like the famous selfie with Ellen DeGeneres.
Of course.
So it's more so like Occam's razor, and just let time tell its thing. Where I could see Will Smith snapping because he's just been getting like shit on for the past 2 years, but it also seems like too good to be true. That's all.
So it could be one of those things where it's real, but like I was saying earlier, live television isn't really live. There's like a 10-second delay. So like they chose like, no, leave it in. What's going on? Just keep it playing. Like they chose to show us that. They could have easily edited that out.
Right.
Anyway.
It's all this like idea of having a live feed, right? And I just had this idea. It's like, what are they going to do? What's going to up the ante? I mean, they're going to have to start putting chicken wire up like Roadhouse, you know, just on the stage.
Well, I was saying from now on, brawls should be the definitive way on to determine who's the winner.
Yeah.
We just have the nominees just go in a fucking ring, and that's how we're going to pick next actor.
Dana White produce the Oscars, you know?
Because that's what I was saying is like, you know, what is the point of like doing this, supposing to stage this? Like, what is the point? What is the benefit? You're not really going to increase the ratings of the show. You're going to increase like viral hits about it, but you're not going to like, it's not going to help monetarily unless they're thinking that like maybe next year people will tune in because they might see another fight. Like, what if the Oscars just devolves into like a hockey game where we just start watching the Oscars in the hope that there might be another fist to cuffs moments, you know?
Exactly.
I would watch those Oscars. I'm not gonna
the
lie.
ratings are in the fucking dumpster. So
If the Oscars were held at like a Bean Daddy, I was gonna say if the Oscars were held in some kind of like nightclub setting, like the Adult Film Awards, where like people are doing cocaine and they're just partying while this award show, like they're being real, like they're being the real vapid Hollywood celebrities they are, like that would be top grossing TV right there.
Yeah, it would. That would be the way to do it.
That's why like the MTV Movie Awards were always fun to watch when I was a kid. The 90s ones, like when Jim Carrey was like the top shit and Will Smith, you know, like remember when Jim Carrey like won for the Truman Show? Remember this shit? I can't show it because it's Viacom. It probably gets struck, but it's like he comes in looking like a goddamn biker. He has a beard, like a wizard beard and long hair, and he's wearing like total like Grateful Dead, like hippie glasses. And he like walks up on stage and he's just like accepting his golden popcorn. He's like, you know, it's like far out, man, like totally in character. And he's just like saying, what is he saying? He's like, after this year's so-called Oscar race, I decided to hit the road and join a biker gang is basically what he said. And then
about,
what did he?
fog
What
hat.
he said at the award? This is MTV Movie Awards in the '90s, and he's like, "And would it kill y'all to play a little fog hat now and then?"
Well, I mean, that's kind of like the conspiracy, like which I do understand of, like systemic structures, right?
Yeah.
Where like the Oscars, when they're like, hey, we got to be more racially inclusive, then we create like meltdown scenarios,
Yeah. Well, like I said, it is embarrassing that we got a panel of nothing but white cis het males.
Yeah.
But at least, I think, I like I said, my great great grandmother was Apache Indian, 100%. My mom's Italian. Matt, I think you're Mexican, right?
I'm a mutt. I don't know what I am.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's enough.
I could be.
Enough. We need a lady in here, and yeah, I mean, I would love to hear from an actual black bald lady and see how upset they were about
Like
this.
you were talking earlier, I was like, as I said the same thing. I was like, she still looks really good.
She looks great. She looks good enough to fuck her son's friend.
Well, she's also been basically bald for like 10 years.
Right. She had the same haircut in Demon Knight.
Yeah.
Remember how hot she was in Demon Knight? Let's talk about how great Demon Knight is. That's a Tales from the Crypt, the first Tales from the Crypt movie.
Oh yeah, that's
Jada Pinkett, Billy Zane, a house surrounded by demons, trying to get this like magical key, and with it they can fucking open a portal to darkness and end the world. Hell yeah!
Also, people like need to fucking get real and quit acting like alopecia is the same thing as like MS.
I looked it up because everyone's like,
come
I was
on.
like, she's not bald. She has alopecia. And I was like, I'm pretty sure alopecia is just the word for baldness. And sure enough, genetic male pattern baldness, female pattern baldness is called alopecia. I assume that she has the bad one where your hair falls out pretty suddenly in thick clumps, but that is a different type of alopecia. Let's look this up because it's like, you're basically saying you can't make fun of bald men. Bullshit. How many times have we heard this shit?
I gotta go to bed, guys. I gotta wake up early as fuck.
Oh, that's right. You're on a different time zone. All right, man.
No, you guys are actually way later.
Just real quick, I wanted to say too, like how I haven't watched the Oscars.
Fucking poser, Max.
Yeah, Max. Well, you good night, man.
Alrighty.
It's good chatting to you for an hour and a half. Go ahead, Matt. Matt, you were saying? Oh, okay. Matt, you were saying? Sorry, you froze up a bit.
This is horrific and very cringy, and I haven't watched an Oscar since then. Plus, I didn't see any of the movies. I think I saw James Bond. That was it.
James Bond wasn't nominated this year. I was talking about the nominees earlier. So Coda won. I saw it. It was good. I had some thoughts on it. I'll talk about it more if you want. Dune.
Yeah, no. I've been watching.
Dune was good, but like it can't win because there's part 2. We can't award. What if part 2 sucks? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Power of the Dog I didn't see. King Richard I didn't see. Nightmare Alley I saw. I liked it. Don't Look Up I saw. It shouldn't win though because they're never going to give Netflix a Best Picture award. Not as long as they can.
Right.
They're going to hold off on giving Netflix the Best Picture because once they
do. Yeah, I've heard you. I heard your takes earlier. I was watching. I've been watching.
Nah, dice. Drive My Car. Didn't see. Licorice Pizza I saw. I loved it. West Side Story I loved it. Shouldn't won.
Right on. I just realized Spielberg directed West Side Story.
He did a great job.
I didn't know that. And then what was the other one?
Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, that one looked pretty interesting. I
loved it.
I didn't see a reason to go to the theater for that.
So Licorice Pizza is it would have been divisive if it had won because it is about a 25-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy having a relationship. But the kid, he's mature for his age. He's very like into her. He's the one like hitting on her inappropriately. He's got a crush on her.
Mm-hmm.
And this little high schooler just basically charms the pants off this I mean, she's like, so the thing about her is she's 25, but she's young for her age. She's still like immature for her age. She lives with her parents still. She's the youngest of 3 sisters. So it doesn't feel, it's not like Leon the Professional where people are watching that movie and like, this is a good movie, but goddamn, this is weird.
Yeah. It's pretty weird. Yeah.
That was weird. I love that movie, but Jesus Christ, it's French. And But like Licorice Pizza didn't feel that way. But
Well,
it
I
is also
thought, what about Dennis Villeneuve? I mean, I thought Dune was the direction, if anything, or the costume design. I thought was amazing.
yeah,
Too.
I mean,
So
for sure.
I don't know,
Which Dune
but I
had a
didn't
lot
see
of
everything else, so I can't really have a valid.
yeah, I mean Dune should have won I don't know what did Dune win? Did Dune win anything? Dune, I mean, yeah, sure. Surely we could get best
Oh, I think it got best song. Wait, no,
Dune won
that
6
was
Oscars.
Bond.
It won 6 Oscars.
I'm not sure.
This is the problem with the Will Smith incident is it's totally overshadowed every other. No one gives a shit about who won what. All
Right.
anyone's talking about is the fucking slap.
Oh man,
And
like,
it's like,
I was on Twitter and we were just channel surfing, and I was like, oh shit, the Oscars are on, and this was probably an hour into the thing, so we started
nice.
watching, and of course I'm still just looking at my phone watching TV, right? And just on Twitter, and I guess there was like a delay or something, but Twitter came on and it was like, oh, Will Smith confronts Chris Rock and hits him, and we hadn't got to that part yet. So I was like,
What?
oh,
So you weren't watching it live then, I guess.
yeah.
You were
Yeah,
like
I guess not. I don't know. I have YouTube TV, so probably not.
So like, how long did it take? Like you looked up at the screen like right after that, and then it happened, or was it a few minutes?
No, I told Jackie, I was like, let's watch this for a minute. I think something's about to happen.
Yeah. Oh, so you
And
knew
it
you were
was
like
probably
behind,
about
okay.
5 minutes, and
Yeah.
like you, I thought it was going to be a stage thing to get ratings and all that kind of thing, but that looked like it got straight up smacked.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought at first, but after the course of this whole day, like you realize, like, nah, seems pretty genuine.
Right.
I was saying at the very least, at the maximum, I mean, the maximum amount it could have been staged is maybe Will Smith was told to slap him at some point. That could be the only way that could have been staged, because I could guarantee you Chris Rock had no idea he was about to get slapped like that. He was like genuinely shocked.
That messed him up. And then he like looks backstage. He's like,
he handled it like such a pro. He handled it like such a pro, dude.
Right.
I mean, seriously. And like I said,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, like I said earlier, it's like, he took that joke or that slap so much better than Jada took that joke, because you watched her face, like, she's like clapping and she's at the face, just like,
yeah, it's kind of rolls her eyes.
You just see that fucking like, you motherfucker, like she's about to say that.
First, right?
She was pissed, but it's one of those things where as a comedian, usually that look is good enough. Like you make that look and you see her make that face, you'd be like, sorry about that.
Or if you can kind of look at him and do one of these
move
numbers,
along.
Can you not?
I mean,
but the first, I thought it was interesting, like the play-by-play of the whole thing. This is a Bruder film,
right?
It was like he says the joke, and then it cuts to Will Smith, and he kind of laughs for a couple seconds.
Nah, he definitely belly laughs for a second. He doesn't that kind of laugh.
Reaction, and then I don't know. I guess.
Nah, like I said, there's definitely a moment where she gave him that look, like, this is why I cheat. Like, she gave him that look, like, this is why I fuck young guys. And this is why you don't fucking do it for me anymore. Yeah. And he just had this moment where he probably went back and just kind of looked down at the floor for a second. It was just like, got to do something. And then in like a moment of panic, did like the worst thing possible, or one, the worst possible would like I said, like tackle him and start like strangling him. You motherfucker! Like, that would have been bad.
And then the guys in the camera crew are like, okay, the director's like, hold on, let's hold off on a second before we bring anybody in.
I mean,
this goes.
Well, that's the thing is, like, if you and I had a disagreement and you slapped me like that, I mean, that'd be one of those things where I'd be like, all right, but it's certainly not a moment to like. It's not like you close punch me in the face, because then I'm gonna have to be like, all right, fucker, it's on,
Yeah.
But if you're gonna slap me like, like that, I'm just gonna be like, well, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I get it.
That was
all right,
I
get
hard
it.
one though. That was
yeah, it seemed hard.
That was he really wound and followed through too. Twisted his whole body, got a lot of torque into it. Like, but why the open-handed? If you're gonna go up there and do all that, and it being the Oscars and being all dramatic, don't you go backhand?
Well, Will Smith is not physically intimidated by Chris Rock whatsoever. I'm sure Will Smith can actually throw down, and Chris Rock is a short little guy.
Yes, that's right.
So, I mean, that's the other thing. We talk about no bullying, and it's like, this is the standard jock shit, It's like, going up there and just smacking the shit out of a little guy for making a joke. It's like, that is not alpha fucking, behavior. That is like,
It
you
was
know,
just a wild man. That was one of the wilder things I've seen.
yeah,
You know, and just I
wild.
couldn't.
Yeah,
So
and
crazy.
honestly, it was a good distraction from all the fucking other shitty news that's out there. You know what I mean? It's good to
That's
just
true.
talk about fucking stupid movies and celebrities for a second here. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, let's get really dumb for a little bit.
But there were some good memes, man. Like I saw one where it's like, Jade is gonna let Will watch so hard tonight. It's like, dude, they're brutal, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying earlier. It's like the internet, the last thing you want to do with trolls is let them know what pisses you off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you make fun of me for being fat, fucking stupid, whatever, but if you say one thing and you watch me like, motherfucker, like, that's going to be the thing from now on that they're going to use. That's the button. So now we know with Will Smith, just make fun of his wife.
Yeah.
Make fun of his wife for anything and watch him freak out, or watch Jada freak out, shit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, you don't want to be cruel and push that button. But the point is, if someone wanted to be cruel, they know exactly what button to push now. This is why you have to be reserved. You have to guard yourself. You can't be fucking showing the internet what fucking really upsets you, because they'll take it and they'll exploit it. Because people
Absolutely.
are fucking, they're
It's
assholes
like,
out there.
I've been watching, highlights of basketball games, and now basketball players are like confronting people in the crowd.
Oh my God.
It's like, well, they know exactly what to say to you to get in your head. And it's like,
LeBron. Oh man, just bring up fucking China or any of the, whatever. Just so many things you could say to LeBron to just have him fucking flip out.
Yeah. You've got to kind of take on a different, almost persona. Right?
This is a good,
like a public persona and the person that you are at home, I guess.
No, it's also being, it's part of the thing about being a pro. I mean, it's like Star Trek used to, this is why I hate the new Star Trek movie shows, because they're so bad, because no one's like behaves like they used to with the reservedness, like there's so many episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation where it's like, how can you be so calm in a situation like this? And look, Picard's like, it's what we're trained to do.
Right.
Like, it's not like we don't feel for these, like the ship exploded, 1 million people are dead now. We are upset about that, but we have to get back to work. We can't, this is a do or die situation. You have to be composed and reserved.
What do they say? You're compromised, right?
Right. You're compromised. Exactly. Yeah. Right. I mean, Will Smith got compromised last night. This is a good one right here. This is one of the actual memes that makes fun of Chris Rock, which is,
Pookie.
Is that New Jack City, right?
Yeah.
God, that's a good one. New Jack City rocks, man. And that's the thing. It's like, back to like the whole representation, someone was, I got unfriended earlier because someone was saying this is all misogynoir. And it was like a copy and pasted, basically a black militant racist argument saying like, everything that happens to this lady is racism. All white people are evil. Shut your mouth if you're white. And I was like, shut this shit down. Fucking don't copy and paste from morons, And of course, it's like, I'm blocked. I'm unfriended over Jada Pinkett Smith. It's hilarious, And I'm just like, all right, dude, you're so the vitriol's so bad. But like, in terms of like, that's what Britt was saying earlier. It's like this whole myth about everyone's stacked against each other. It's like, no, man. As a white kid, I liked New Jack City and Family Matters. And, I don't get, no one gives a shit that they're black. It never even crossed my mind that like, oh, I love Family Matters. It's like, oh, but you watch it even though everyone in the show is black. It's like, that has never even fucking entered my head.
You watched it. It was good. It was entertaining.
It's fucking Urkel, man. Who gives a shit what color he is?
Yeah, of course.
And as a kid, you realize that show was made for children, because like, you heard about how the aunt, she was actually in the newest Matrix movie. But she
is that going to be another Tales from the Dorkside?
No, I talked about the new Matrix movie a while ago. Yeah, when it came out, it was not good, to say the least.
I didn't finish it, man.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Yeah. But I mean, the stream's still up there on my YouTube channel.
Okay, I'll check that.
It was one of the first. It was the first one I did on YouTube, because I'd been doing them on Facebook for like a year and change. And I definitely prefer YouTube. The quality is much better. The interface is way easier, and sure. I don't have it just works better. But had an actual stranger come into that one and talk to me and Vince from Vince and Antone, just talking about the new Matrix movie for 3 hours. This is like a random black androgynous lesbian lady who was a huge fan of the new Matrix movie and all the Matrix movies. And we just had a great discussion about how, even though I disagreed like extremely, I did not like the new movie, but I was happy to have her on. And, you know, she's ever watching.
It was a good back and forth.
No, it was just like, you know, just shooting the shit like we are, you know. I mean, it wasn't, you know, we're not having a debate here. I'm not here to make fights with people over the fucking Matrix movie. I'm not here to fight you over your opinions on Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. I'm just here to tell you, if you think slapping people, you're wrong. Will Smith agrees with me. So I'm glad that this has all been put behind us. But like, if you do disagree with me, like, I don't hate you, dog. I don't.
And then the funny part too, to me, was just the air in the room just kind of went out, and how everybody kind of carried on.
You could hear the murmuring,
happen,
like,
you know.
You start hearing the echoes of people like whispering all of a sudden.
Yeah,
you can definitely make it out where it's like, you fucking, is that real? What are we watching right now? That's what everyone's saying in unison.
Just, you know, everybody else and they did a pretty admirable job. I mean,
I was talking about how
got up and accepted his award and crying and the whole
that
thing.
Is, yeah, like I said, that's the most awkward part, because
but I was like, okay, we're just not going to address that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, what was shameful that moment was he apologized to the Academy and his fellow nominees, but he didn't apologize to Chris Rock at that moment, which if he had, I would probably had way less harsher feelings about it. I mean, my feelings right now aren't that harsh. Like I said, like, it's fucking stupid Hollywood crap, and like, it's all over with now. Everyone's moved on. These two actors have moved on. So it's just fun to talk about tonight. And it's also an excuse to talk about the Oscars. Like you're saying, dude, Dune won Best Original Score, Best Visual Effects, Best Cinematography, Best Production Design, Best Film Editing, Best Sound, Best, no, these are all the nominees. Oh, Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't
Winners. Let's see.
Didn't win anything. I don't think. I don't know.
It was like
they won 6. Okay.
No, really? That's what I just read. I thought I read. Did it win Best Director? It didn't win Best Picture. Why is Best Picture right here?
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. Denis Villeneuve didn't even get nominated for Best Director.
I think he did.
Did he? I don't know. Jackie, do you know?
All right, we're going through the whole fucking list. God damn it. Dune was nominated for Best Picture. Javier Bardem was nominated for being the Ricardos, which is not. Let's see. I
haven't seen that one yet. Have you?
No, I haven't even heard of that. I don't even know what that is.
And there's it's weird. You know how sometimes Hollywood do the thing where it's like we have to have 2 movies of this one thing.
That is a common thing. You're talking about like Ants and A Bug's Life and Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Right.
What it is like studios coming out with this idea, like something, and then like the words like whisper through, like, oh, okay, so like DreamWorks is making a
Cars movie, or
like no, it's like Michael Bay is making an asteroid movie, so we here at DreamWorks, we'll make another asteroid movie, and we'll make it come out like just like 3 months before. If we start right now, we have an asteroid, we have a script somewhere in our pile of submitted scripts that is about an asteroid. So you know what I'm saying, just find me the best script we got about asteroids, because like we got to beat fucking MGM or whoever the fuck's making Armageddon.
Sure.
And same thing with like Bugs Life and Ants. It was like DreamWorks again. There's also DreamWorks. That's funny because DreamWorks did make Deep Impact too. I'm just putting this together, but like both of those times, like Bugs Life's coming out second computer animated movie or whatever besides Toy Story from Pixar, and you can tell that DreamWorks was just like, all right, let's do it. Let's do something. Like, this can't be that hard. Let's make a movie about ants.
So and honestly, I think trying to capitalize like on the hype.
What are you talking? Which one
coming out?
Which one are you talking about?
So, like, if they come out with 2 volcano movies, or
right. Yeah, that too. I mean, it's also to steal the thunder away from the other one.
So, but it's like, bunch of spiteful motherfuckers.
But you know what's interesting is, like, now that I'm thinking about it, it seems like every time the movie that comes out first, it seems to be better. I did like Ants Life more than Bugs. I did like Ants more than A Bug's Life. I liked Deep Impact more than Armageddon. I liked Dante's Peak more than Volcano. So it's like, maybe it's not a bad thing.
Sure.
But yeah, that is like studio rivalry bullshit that they've done for a while.
I've always thought it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, and it's great because it makes good for double features. You know, let's watch fucking Deep Impact and Volcano back to back. Like, fuck yeah, dude, that sounds fun.
Right.
I'm still looking. Okay, so Dune did win Best Special Effects. Dune won Best Score, and Dune won Best Cinematography, and Best Film Editing, and Best Production Design, and Best Sound.
Oh shit. Okay, so they won a lot.
Didn't win Best Director, didn't win Best Picture, but honestly, it's like that's interesting that the lady who made Power of the Dog, is that what it's called? The Power of the Dog, the movie about the gay rancher cowboy, whatever. Benedict Cumberbatch. I didn't see that one, but Jane Campion.
Oh, Jesse Plemons. Jackie said Jesse Plemons is in it.
Yeah, his wife Kirsten Dunst.
Yes.
And Kirsten Dunst.
That's right. She was nominated. She lost.
Okay.
I want to see The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I hear that's good, and Jessica Chastain won for it, Best Actress. So I hear that's good. I did like The Righteous Gemstones a lot. Did you watch that show?
I haven't caught it yet. I heard it's pretty funny though.
It's great. It's great. It's 3 seasons right now, or 2 seasons right now. Two. Yeah. So it's great. And
Cool.
It definitely put me in that, like, oh, I want to watch another thing about like crazy televangelists. So The Eyes of Tammy Baker seems like right up that alley.
Okay.
Also, it's another movie that's got like the crazy makeup. So I was saying earlier, like during when I found out about the slap, I was watching Pam and Tommy. I was finishing that on Hulu.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
We're talking about actors winning awards.
I thought it was a movie, and then you started talking about how it's a series. I didn't.
It's like an 8-hour movie, basically.
Okay.
It's like 7 and change, basically, is how long it is, and it is great because I really hate a lot of these miniseries, unnecessary shows, Netflix shows. They could just be a movie. They drag. They get old. It's like you lose interest. It's like you wasted 10 hours to watch a mediocre story.
Yeah.
This was not that. Like they really used all the time wisely. It never dragged. I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, this is good. And then by the 3rd and 4th episode, I'm like, we're watching 5, 6, 7, 8 right now. Like we're gonna keep going because this is getting good.
Did you catch? You were talking about how like the costume and the makeup is crazy.
Dude,
like
we're talking about like actors who should win awards. That Lily James lady, she should win an award for playing Pamela Anderson. She did, like I said, transformative work. Like she became that person on screen. It was uncanny.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, I definitely want to check that out. And
what was great about the show was like you really feel very sympathetic towards Pamela Anderson. Like it really makes you feel sorry for that lady. Mm-hmm. They really paint her in a very interesting light. It was good, really good,
cool.
And also, what was so great, what really hooked me was like, then they start talking about like it gets much broader in like the subject matter. It's not just about Pam and Tommy. Like they start talking about like, the idea of like the 90s news media blitz, like the OJ Simpson case, the Pamela Anderson. They're looking for like the next big story, that kind of attitude in the press.
Scandal,
and then also
next scandal. Sure.
Also like the legal precedents of like putting stuff on the internet. Like, what is this allowed? Like, what's the deal with like, how do you sell this? How is this, all that stuff was very fascinating.
Sure.
Because it's like the internet's brand new at the time,
Yeah, I'm still listening.
No, I mean, it's good stuff.
Did you watch the what's it called, Jackie, with the Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky thing?
No.
Yeah,
no, I didn't see that one. Story? No, I watched the OJ one, which was interesting. But what's that one called with Bill Clinton?
I didn't finish it. I have a problem with finishing things. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just
well, like I said, a lot of these shows don't really use their time wisely. They kind of drag and like you lose interest. And also, there's so many other shows. That's the problem with these shows, man.
You've got to, you've really got to capitalize on the.
I wait on when to start. Like right now, Barry season 3 is about to start.
Right.
In like a month. So like after like a month it started, like once they're like approaching the final episode, I'll probably start season 1 and just burn through those 3 seasons as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, one show's done. I want to show my mom, and she wants to watch The Wire. I want to show her The Wire, but it's like, that's like 60 hours of, that's a lot. So
it was good, but it seems daunting.
No one likes the second season. The second season's unanimously the worst because all the villains are in jail for that season. The third season they come back out, and like the cool thing about The Wire is each season gets kind of like what I was just talking about Pam and Tommy. Like first season's about the cops, second season's about like people's human trafficking. Third season is about like the criminals. The fourth season is about like the kids on the streets, the actual homeless people, the drug users. And then the fifth season is all about like the government corruption, the press. It's like it really is a great show, and it's so amazing because like it's created by an actual reporter from Baltimore, so that's why everything's so realistic. And you know, it's also got that Game of Thrones feeling where it's like you don't know who's gonna get killed, and when it ends, it's like unexpected, maybe not completely satisfactory, but it seems real. You know.
Sure. Well, maybe the Game of Thrones is what scared me away from finishing a show.
Scared a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of the last times that a lot of us were into the whole live weekly TV thing.
Yes.
We'll wait every week and then we'll wait a year for the next season and then we'll do it again and we'll wait, you know. People loved the Game of Thrones. And I tell you right now, George R.R. fucktard Martin, he's not finishing that book, dude. He's never going to finish those books. He doesn't give a shit. And he's at the point now where he's like blaming the fans, like, you know, or not, but like passive aggressively, like saying like, it'll be done when it's done. It's like, but meanwhile, you're helping them make some prequel show that, you know, the House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
You're going to, you know, and that's the thing they were worried about when the Game of Thrones was getting really popular around season 2 and 3. George R.R. Martin's going to all these like premieres and red carpets and award shows. He needs to be in his cabin working on his book. That's what all the fans of the books were saying. It's like, look, we love that you're getting all this fame and money from the show, but you know, if you start slacking and the show overlaps the books, that's it. And that was it. Once they fucking started, you know, wrapping the books over, it was like, you notice like the huge decline in quality of the writing.
Yeah.
And also just like fucking throw in a dartboard, be like, Bran's the king, you know, fucking. And like all the fan theories we heard, the only one that was good was the one that was in the book, was the fact that Jon Snow is Targaryen and all that stuff. Like all that was a great plot twist. Right. But the other plot twists I had heard were like Bran is the Night King. That was one that I heard that I really liked. Like Bran, he was like the first man somehow with him going back in time with his like visions, he somehow got trapped. So he's simultaneously like alive in the present as like the Night King and as young Bran.
Damn,
so like that would have been great. And also you got you know, that horrible, we all know what should have happened. You got like you have the Night King take Winterfell, okay? That has to happen, and then they all go to King's Landing, and they have a final showdown with the walkers. Like, that was what the climax of the show was supposed to be. And we all got cheated out of it, you know?
Yes, it just felt like another example of them almost like writing as you go along. And it's like,
just dumbing it down too.
And it never works. And I don't know. That was horrific. Anyways, sorry, I don't mean to hijack your.
No, we can talk about whatever the fuck, man.
The Game of Thrones.
Let's talk about Game of Thrones. I don't give a shit.
I thought it was cool, man. I'd never seen like I don't know, somebody signing next to another person, like when they're accepting an award or whatever. And that was kind of cool.
Yeah, first deaf actor. I mean, that was the thing I was noticing was like I knew the act when I saw the movie. Coda was good. It felt like did you see it?
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay. It seems like a elevated Hallmark movie. That's basically the vibe it gives off, except it's a little slightly raunchier, which I was saying earlier. That was one thing I wish I could have changed about it. Cause I love fart and sex jokes, but like in this movie, it seemed out of place. Like you might as well just push for the PG rating, you know, why are we having like an R-rated sex scene in this movie when it's like, this could easily be like a family, more general audience type movie. But like I said, at first I was like kind of powering through the movie, but then it kind of wins you over with this one specific scene where she sings for her father, like in the backyard. And like, that's the scene where you're like, all right, this is a good movie, you know?
Yeah. But ends on a good note kind of thing.
No, I was saying it ends on it's like a sports movie, you know, of course there's like the montages, the training, there's the low point where like, I quit the team. And then like, she shows up at the last minute to the fucking, you know, the big performance or like the big game or whatever. And you know that she's going to win, right?
And nails it. Yeah.
So what was great was like, I mean, minor spoilers. What I saw was something very original where they basically like I said earlier, it's like they did this great thing where instead of you watching her sing this whole song for 3.5 minutes, and then they say, you did great. Here's your score, 9.9. You know, you made it to the, great. What we actually see is she sings for 30 seconds. And then while the song keeps playing, then we see a montage of her getting a standing ovation and her going off to college and packing up her shit. And it's like, so we ended on the high note and the prologue at the same time. So I was like, that was clever. And it's like also kind of like, hey, we wrapped it up. We're wrapping this movie up. It didn't have to. Not every movie has to be fucking 3 hours long. I don't understand. Did you see the new Batman?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I haven't had no.
It's
I'm waiting
3
for it to come
hours
out on HBO.
Yeah, I'm not
I think
we've had enough Batman movies.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Like the other day, I was like, do we have to have another Batman movie every year? Every year.
I was very upset because I saw this deleted scene with the Joker, and he's basically just like the Heath Ledger Joker, but with like grosser face makeup. And it's like, this isn't cool.
Yeah, I saw stills of that. Yeah.
And Jared Leto's Joker was also atrocious, different. But I mean, honestly, if it was just the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, that would have been great too. But who fucking knows? Whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like he's supposed to be the clown prince of crime, not this like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type fucking psychopath. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the vibe he gave in that movie.
Okay.
But it's like a deleted scene you saw on YouTube. I didn't see the actual movie. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to be good. I like the idea of Detective Batman solving a serial killer murder case. Sounds cool, but it's dark. Sure. And Batman should be like, I hear like Bruce Wayne this is the best portrayal of Bruce Wayne because he's actually like very like emo and brooding and depressed. And he doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne. He wants to be Batman. You know what I mean? So that was something that I think we haven't really tapped in with Batman. But as far as Batman, like I said, like these movie theaters, like I said, when they give Netflix the award, these movie theaters are just becoming amusement park rides where they're only going to show Marvel comic book movies and giant monster movies and any kind of Power of the Dog type movie you want to see. It's only going to be on Hulu or Netflix or whatever, HBO Max, which maybe that's, maybe movie theaters are just going the way.
It puts me in the seats sometimes, and you kind of want to hear the explosions. And
I saw West Side Story for the first time. That was the first time I've been to a theater since Endgame, I think. And I was I like West Side Story, but it couldn't have won because it was a beat for beat remake of the original, which already won Best Picture. So, but yeah, Steven Spielberg, dude, he's a G. He knows what he's doing. And but what was shocking was me and my friend were the only two in the theater. In the entire theater. And this is like opening weekend, Steven Spielberg, West Side Story. Nobody gave a fuck, apparently. Everyone's just like, I'll see it at home on HBO. All right.
Yeah. I didn't really see, like I said earlier, the only ones I've seen was No Time to Die. And what was the other one, Jackie, we saw? We saw Pig.
Pig was great.
In theaters. But other than that, man, we've just, everything, has been coming out on HBO. But also, that slate of movies, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
How bad they've been? Like, all those Warner Brothers movies have been so terrible. Just this particular slate, even. I can't even think of one good one.
Are we talking about the DC movies or just the Warner Brothers in general?
Warner Brothers, yeah, I guess those two. You can include those, like, when they...
Oh, they're definitely included, yeah.
When they gave them to HBO Max and just said, "Here you go."
Oh yeah, Godzilla versus Kong would have been fun to see in the theaters, but yeah, it's not great. That was the best I think of those movies. Mortal Kombat sucked. Weren't you on the Mortal Kombat stream where we talked about that fucking movie? That was bad.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
I forgot that they remade Mortal Kombat. I was reminded of that. It's like, Jesus Christ, that was just like last year. Like no one cared.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and my thought was like, the execs at Warner Brothers knew that the slate of movies were not going to be good, and so they settled on a deal with HBO. That's my conspiracy theory on that.
Yeah, that is very, very possible because it is one of those things. It's like, it seemed like a good idea because of COVID, but then after a while, it's like, back down. Like, this doesn't need to be a thing anymore. And you could tell HBO, or not HBO, but Warner Brothers, like Dune. Honestly, Dune got shafted by not, by being put on HBO. I watched it on HBO. And
I did too.
It was fine. I got a nice enough home system,
For sure.
It's fun. And the other thing is like watching them, not everyone wants to go
on HBO. So
not everyone wants to go see like, especially like cerebral, slow, atmospheric sci-fi movies in the theater anymore. If you're surrounded by, loud people eating popcorn and shit, it's like I said, like the movie theaters are going the way of the blockbuster, and
Yeah.
soon there's only going to be two types of theaters. They're standard theaters, which only show these amusement park ride movies. And then if you want to see like the movies like Pig, you're going to have to go to like a specific, like an art house theater that's going to be the new thing. Instead of drive-in theaters, we're going to have these like smaller, like imagine a theater in like a mini mall, like a little theater. And it's like, you got two screens maybe, and you show like, that's where you show these independent art house movies, special screenings. And even then it's like, you can't charge much because it's like, yeah, tell you what, you can pay $8 for a movie and you'll see an older movie, for instance, or an independent movie but still it's like these movie theaters don't make any money. They make all it from concession stands. So
Yeah.
I mean,
And everybody's sneaking food in. And
the Alamo Draft House theory, the Alamo Draft House formula works in theory, but honestly, like even if the food is fucking amazing, it's like you shouldn't really be shoving food in your face unless you've seen the movie or you don't give a fuck about the movie, because it is going to take no. And like the thing, if you're going to get food, eat it before the fucking trailers are over. Like if you get there early enough at Alamo, you watch the pre-show, you can eat during the pre-show. And then when the movie's on, like it's time to watch the movie. Maybe you have like a drink, but like nobody else is doing that. So like the whole movie theater, you're just hearing like forks and knives and people eating fucking potato. Popcorn is a great movie snack because it's crunchy, but it's quiet. You can't hear people crunching popcorn next to you, but you can hear fucking like tortilla chips and salsa like no one's business. When I watched Batman Begins, that movie kind of came out of fucking nowhere because it was like they're making a new Batman movie, a prequel. Cool. I mean, I like Batman Year One, the comic book, so I was expecting something more like that. And that movie came out of nowhere. And we watched it at Alamo Draft House. My friend, my guitar player worked there. And yeah, that movie just like within the first 15 minutes, like when you first see Gotham for the first time and it's like hyper realistic, it's like a regular looking city. That's when I realized like this is going to be different. This is going to be good. And I'm trying to get into the movie, but everyone around me, all my friends, it's like a huge crew of us. We're all just pounding beers the whole movie. At one point, during like this big important scene with like Liam Neeson, like talking about his dead wife, she was taken from me. Fucking a bucket of beer bottles just like falls over and fucking clank, clank, blang. Like you can hear all the fucking liquid and glass everywhere. And it's just happening like a row, like, and a couple seats down that way. And it's just like, okay. And now that's like a whole thing of people like sweeping up glass at a certain, it was just like, oh my God, dude. It was funny, but
like in the crinkling of like candy wrappers.
Oh, dude, candy wrappers are the worst. That's why those boxes work for the movie theaters because you just kind of. But with the wrappers, like digging your hand in that. That's why when people sneak food in, that food is not, sounded. It's not been selected for, you unwrap that cheeseburger. Everyone can hear that fucking burger wrapper coming undone. That's why you have to do it real quick. Just pull it out, take it out of the wrapper completely, and just fucking inhale your burger real quick. Right. Like I know how to sneak food in, But,
yeah, I like that's a great take, man. They have those Alamo Draft Houses up here too, so we've been hitting those up.
Yeah, like I said, like if you wanted to go see,
they're still good. What I love about those is they have the 30-minute clips before.
The pre-shows work. I love the pre-shows at Alamo. I wish more movie theaters did that, where it wasn't just a barrage of ads. Instead, it's like, no, this is a catered show that is tailored to this movie you're about to watch. Like when I watch
you into it,
when we watch Batman Begins, they're showing nothing but weird like Adam West clips and clips from the animated series and old 90s Batman toy commercials. It's like hyping you up for the movie.
Yeah,
good stuff. Whereas like when you go to a regular theater, it's just like drink Coca-Cola and eat candy until you die. Like here's more fucking candy for you, fat boy. Go to the concession stand. Here's a fucking restaurant in town that bought an ad, so we're playing here's a Chili's commercial. Go to Chili's, it's like Jesus Christ. Every fucking thing you watch, or they'll do like, did you know that in 1977 when they made Jaws, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and they'll be like, here's some more ads, fatty. Now that we gave you some movie trivia, here it's like, oh Jesus Christ,
buy this, man,
refreshing
and then I also
Coke.
find myself, I'm like, So we'll be like, okay, we're going to go to the movies. We're going to see this movie. And they're like, okay, the next thing is where we're going to watch it. Now I'm to the point where like, I don't know. Did the seats recline? Like,
see,
you know what I mean?
I'm
Now
so
you're
old.
starting to
I
get-
like the tight theater seats where you have to sit up straight. And like, I
Yeah.
don't, you know, when I do snacks, I've said this before, I just do like a couple sticks of gum. I want to get totally immersed in the movies, like falling asleep, like getting all reclined and stuff. Like, yeah, it's cool, but it's just like,
Yeah.
what I got to say about Alamo though, like with Batman, I remember that's the other thing. I remember you're drinking all this beer. This is a 2.5 hour movie, man. By the fucking final act, when shit's getting like really good, you're like, I've got to pee so bad, you know? And you're like,
Right.
should I tough through this? Because I hate going to the bathroom in the middle of the movie. I don't care what the movie
Right.
is. I'm fucking.
Right.
I feel like I'm gonna miss the best part of the movie or a good part of the movie, no matter what. And
so you're like kind of run walking to the.
you run back. You don't
bathroom.
even fucking like shake it off, right? You got like piss on your jeans when you come back. You know, like, it's not good. You're
Exactly.
drinking. You've been
Yeah.
drinking, man. That's the thing. That's the other thing. You're drunk too with some of these movies at Alamo. Like I've been.
Oh man.
I used to go. John Brown. He'd fucking give me a ticket for free. Basically, he'd just tell me like, "Yo, I'm working Brokeback Mountain at 10:30. Just sit in one of the odd rows, and I'll take care of you." Walk
Nice.
in, sit down. This is before they had ticket counters. Back then, the waiters checked your tickets, you know? So
Yeah.
he would just pretend I had a ticket, and then he would just be like, I would just slip him $20, and then he'd just sneak me, not even order it. He would sneak me a pizza and a pitcher of beer. But like, yeah, you drink a pitcher of beer to yourself. Yeah, you're like, you know, next day you're like, what happened at the end of that movie again? You know, like,
Right.
God,
Exactly. Everything's
it's not really
foggy, yeah.
sticking. No, I like to
Yeah,
be
and that's the thing
focused.
too. I mean, the smells too. It's like you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go to Alamo. I'm not even gonna eat anything. But
Yeah, that is
the
a
person
problem.
next to you gets a pepperoni sausage pizza. You know, with the
Fajita
works,
effect
and
going on.
you're like, damn, dude, like, what did he get? You know, and,
Yeah, the
and so that
sizzling
takes
fajita
away
effect.
from it too.
Oh,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
the worst part about Alamo though, because like I said, Alamo is like one of those things where it works in theory, but we haven't quite perfected it. Because like the big problem right there is like every time in the third act, this is when it happens around the end of the movie when it's giant
The
climax is
missiles
coming
are
up.
coming down, and yeah.
This is when the waiters come down to every fucking couple and they're like, "This is last call. Just letting you know it's last call. Letting you know it's last call. Last time to order. Get out of my fucking face! I'm trying to watch Batman."
Yeah.
And then, of course,
man,
like
I know.
now you have to pay your tab in the fucking climax of the movie. You know, you're like looking at it like, who ordered the fucking tequila shots? Like, this is like $50 more. You know, like it's terrible.
You're trying to figure out the tip and stuff.
You're like, yeah,
it's
you're just like, dude, wait till the end of the movie.
right.
And then
It's
they
so
come
true.
down and
I've gotten to the point now. It's like now, at Alamo, it's like you finish your food and you're probably at that point in the movie. You have an idea of how long the movie is, so you're looking around, waiting for the waiter to come by.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, when did they start? You know.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if you need something
all
like
a
now,
thing.
you can't flag down the waiter. You're in a dark theater. You know, I
Yeah,
guess you could turn your phone on and just do this, and then someone will come right away. What are you doing? Be like, oh, I need a drink. Be like, motherfucker, don't do that. Like, well, I wasn't getting any service, so.
Yeah.
But
it is wild, man.
That's the problem with like, at a normal restaurant, I'm tipping based on like how nice you are, how often you're refilling me, all these things. Are you doing a good job? And are you a good person? Do you deserve it? I mean, I always like to tip well. But at the movie theaters at Alamo, it's like the more ninja like you are, that's the bigger tip you get. Like if you're a fucking like
Absolutely.
if the food just magically like appears in front of me and I don't even notice that you drop, like sometimes I see the waiters like crawling like under the fucking like spider people, and they're holding like a pizza and then the pizza just kind of comes up over the bench and they just put it there and they just kind of sneak away. It's bizarre. Like they can't be good for their posture, like carrying, like bussing food over, expoing food like that, crouched under that little bench you have. But
and then I also think about too, like how many times they've seen the movie and that kind of shit.
That'd be so funny. Like they look at their tip and it's a lousy tip and they'll be like, this guy's the killer. That guy's the guy. Just spoiled the movie for you. Like, asshole.
You're gonna love it when McConaughey comes out. Yeah.
When who?
Whatever. McConaughey comes out at the
Oh,
end, cameo
yeah.
or some shit. I don't know. You know, I saw. Well, I take that back. I did watch another one. Up. What was it? Up. Don't look up.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
think
say
that was the other
I
one.
did like it, but it's like it's too forced, too heavy-handed. It's very. This is how you should feel about the current events. You know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's a little.
I didn't care for it. I didn't
I
care
liked it.
for
I
it.
thought it was funny, and I thought there was some great acting in it. Kate Blanchett was great. There was and of course it ended on a fucking shitty note. It was just, it's very, very cynical movie. Very
Yes.
very yeah, more
Very
of this like
long.
yeah, I mean that's what I was saying earlier. It's like all the movies are 2.5 hours long or longer nowadays. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I see a movie,
If I stream something nowadays, we have to like break it up into two.
now that's actually worse. It's like it's better to
Yeah.
just like plan out a day. I'll just watch it 2 days from now.
Get it over with.
When I'm because picking it up the next day, you're always like not getting back into it. There's always something missing, when you're trying to get back into that
That's
vibe,
true. Yeah.
especially if it's like
Yeah.
a thriller or an action movie or a horror movie. Like there's a reason why we
Yeah.
put all the boring, like, hey, here's our main character. Here's like his problems with his wife. Here's this stuff he's got going on. And now it's like there's a bomb on a bus, like you can't just like start the movie
Yeah.
tomorrow. It's like, all right, they're back on the bus. And you won't have that adrenaline
All the
going.
momentum. The
You won't- yeah.
momentum's gone. Yeah. Yeah, but
So-
like you're saying, man, everything's like fucking 3 hours nowadays.
You know how delighted I am when I hear about a new movie and I'm like, this movie's 90 minutes long. Let's watch it right now. Like, oh my God, it's only an hour and a half. Please, thank you. Okay, I'm going to say this. I've been telling a bunch of people about this movie. I watched, it's on YouTube. I'll send you the link. Kids in the Hall, right?
Mhm.
90s sketch comedy show. Well, Dave
Sure,
Foley,
Dave Foley and all those
Dave
guys.
Foley, he's in a movie. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but he was in a movie in 1999 called, or 96 maybe, and it's called The Wrong Guy. Have you heard of this movie?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I had never heard of it, period. And I'm a big fan of Kids in the Hall. Never knew this movie even existed, let alone I didn't see it. And it's like, just saw a link of it. I was watching like Kids in the Hall skits on YouTube. And all of a sudden, this full-length movie's there. And it's just got this funny thumbnail of Dave Foley. Let me pull this up here, show you. The Wrong Guy. Oh my God. Yeah, I just randomly just see this thumbnail and I'm like, this looks interesting. And I start watching it.
Yeah.
It's one of the funniest movies I have seen in a long, long time. And it was just like, and I maybe realized,
or?
like I said, it's on YouTube. Someone put it up there.
Okay.
Let me see this here, right here. I'm not going to play the movie. Just want to show you this fucking thumbnail here. What's just so funny is like, you're watching this movie and it is kind of Naked Gunish. Oh Jesus. What is this thumbnail? This sucks. I don't know. It's this top one right here. I'll send you the link, but it's like Dave Foley with blood all over his hands and he's just like screaming. He's got blood all over his clothes. And it just says, not a Kids in the Hall production, a film about an executive who thinks he's being framed for murder, a fugitive in his own mind. And that's it. And I'm just like, all right, I just watch this in the middle of the night. I'm like by myself. I'm like up. My mom's asleep. I'm just like, all right, I'll check this one out. And it was one of those movies where like, not only was it super funny where I'm laughing my ass off, I'm realizing like I haven't laughed this hard in a movie. Like movies are just not this funny anymore because they're all like playing it safe and being censored and just not being like bizarre. Like this movie was it's very like silly, like Naked Gun style kind of humor. There's like weird jokes, but what's interesting about it is it starts off pretty, okay, and then it just gets more and more ridiculous as it goes on. And I gotta say, I don't want to spoil any of the jokes, but there were so many times where I'm just like, I literally had to pause it because I'm laughing so hard to myself, like just sitting by myself. And granted,
Right.
I was a little stoned, but I mean,
Sure.
it was a great watch, and it was just such a great reminder of what movies just used to be funny. They used to be not just funny but hilarious, and nowadays it's just
not afraid to go certain places and take weird turns and
also scripted comedy, like jokes with punchlines and setups. Like everything that's happening was planned for laughs. Like if it's calculated, like if we drop this little setup here and there'll be a payoff right here. And the movie works like little 10-minute jokes. Like every 10 minutes is like a new, huge, hilarious moment that they've built up to. And then after you have that big laugh, then there's like another scene. And now we've got some new weird, funny stuff happening. And it just builds up to another huge laugh. And then we got another scene. And it just does this formula. And a lot of times these comedies, especially stupid comedies like this one, like the third act is usually very, lackadaisical. It starts to drag in the third act. This movie, it just gets stronger and stronger. And Jennifer Tilly's in it, and she's beautiful. And she is a big source of a lot of great laughs. I think it's partly her voice, and she's so hot too. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but I'll send you the link and you guys check that out. And like I said, it's nice and short. You'll enjoy it.
Good.
Good old fashioned fun movie. A movie that's, people knew they were going to make people laugh,
So it's like, what was it, Michael Showalter and all those guys in it too?
No, but it definitely does have that kind of like vibe of that humor, that Stella and what are the other shows they did? All the Michael, Wet Hot American Summer and the Baxter, all those movies. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
it's irreverent to say the least. And
Was it made in the 90s or?
yeah, I want to say 90. It just said it. I think it was 96.
Okay.
But I don't know why I brought it up, but yeah, I was watching that randomly just on YouTube, streaming, and good stuff, man. Watching it at home, watching so much shit at home. Like, what do I have to watch?
Sure.
I want to watch this pirate show on HBO. Here's good. Taika Waititi, Our Flag Means Death. I heard that was good. What else have you heard was good?
I'm getting ready for this Nick Cage movie. That's what is it? Variable Talent or whatever.
Where he's playing
That looks
himself.
kinda interesting.
Yes, I mean Nick Cage has been doing some great ones. I mean, I liked Pig, like you said, was awesome. The scene. There's two scenes in that movie where it's just like totally worth watching the movie just for those two scenes. And I'm talking about the restaurant scene where he goes and meets that young guy with the fancy new restaurant, and he explains to him how his whole life's a joke.
Oh my god! Yeah.
He's like, "You're not following your dream," like whatever. And then the other scene, which was like the scene where he makes dinner for the dude's dad. And it was one of those scenes where like I'm watching it and I'm realizing what's about to happen before it happens. And when it does happen, It was such a fucking awesome payoff where like he's made him that same dinner, and he's like been like traumatized by it because it's like totally taken him back to that time when he was happy, It's a great movie. Color Out of Space. Did you watch that one with Nick Cage?
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's great. It was cool.
And one night I got real drunk and I bought Mandy, but I still haven't seen that yet either.
Oh, Mandy's awesome.
Okay. I bought
Mandy's
it on like
fucking
one night. I woke up the next day. I'm like, oh, I bought this movie.
So we're talking about amusement park, theme park ride movies. Like Mandy is one of those. Like it's a wild trip, and it's like watch that one with the lights off and the volume all the way up. You'll have a fucking blast.
Right.
It's like a crazy, psychotic, science fiction, satanic horror, revenge porn.
Cool.
It's fucking gnarly. It's awesome. And it's one of those movies where it's like very drug fueled, hallucinogenic type 60s, 70s psychedelic imagery, man. It's so cool. It's rad.
Yeah.
It's a rad
I always
movie.
forget I have it, but yeah, I gotta watch that. I want to watch that sometime this week, probably.
And he's been starring in a lot of these geezer teasers. Have you heard of these movies where like Bruce Willis and Nick Cage and all them, they started making all these like ridiculous straight to video, horrible factory churn movies that are super low budget, where like the entire movie is like Bruce Willis is in it or Nick Cage is in it, and Nick Cage or Bruce Willis is just like phoning in some role where they're like, you can tell they're on studio set for like maybe 2-3 days. And then they filmed the whole rest of the movie around this like footage they have of Bruce Willis,
Yeah, I have heard about that. What's up?
Have you heard of the show Severance yet with Ben Stiller?
You heard of the show Severance with Ben Stiller?
Oh, I have heard of it. I don't know anything about what it's about, or I know it's like something like corporate weird show.
Okay, Adam Scott. I don't know.
No, I know about it, but I don't know anything about what it's about. Bring Jackie in. Tell her to what's it about.
He's playing on the couch. I don't know what you.
Oh, right on. Well, yeah, I have heard it. I've heard about it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about. They're bringing back like Futurama, King of the Hill, and
I'm skeptical, honestly. It's like
are you
all these reboots and shit. It's like that's the thing. Is like
Justified,
that's
I
how we
think.
know we're in a morally bankrupt society because we can't come up with anything new. I mean, for
Right.
real. And this Lord of the Rings show looks like it's going to be hot trash. Picard season
Has that
2
come
is
out yet on Amazon?
no,
Right?
no, no, not yet. We've only got like one teaser,
Okay.
but it's just like, you're trying to turn Lord of the Rings into Game of Thrones, and you're basically saying like this ain't going to be like the Tolkien books, and it's like just make it something original then. Like it's not really about like we want to make we don't want to make a great Lord of the Rings show. It's like, no, we want to use this popular IP Lord of the Rings as a vehicle for our fucking bullshit that we want to preach on you, is usually what it ends up being. It's so
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully it'll go viral, or some scene will go viral.
well, what's going to happen is the same thing that happens with all these other fucking tarnished reboots, Star Trek Discovery, Picard, fucking these new Star Wars movies. It's just, what happens is the actual fans, the people, they say, hey, this sucks. This is not good. And it's like, well, you're sexist. You're racist. Toxic fandom. That's all it is. We're not going to listen to you. Like, clearly this show's the greatest and you don't like it because you hate women. It's like, motherfucker, that doesn't work anymore. Like, nobody's buying that bullshit.
Right.
Like, and it's like that's what's going to happen. It's the same thing that happens with everything. And it's so formulaic and predictable. It's getting boring now. It's been going on for like years now, 4 or 5 years. This has been the formula, the routine that it goes through.
Right.
And Picard,
And it becomes there's not enough of this, and there's too much of
dude,
that.
I had a fucking moment where I the whole Stacey Abrams making an appearance as the president of the president of the world in Picard. Did you hear about this? Or no, Star Trek Discovery, excuse me.
The show.
So Star Trek Discovery, the season finale, they meet the president of the world, and it's literally the fucking governor, the Georgia lady, Stacey Abrams, that extremely divisive partisan politician. Like I said, it would be the same thing if Ron DeSantis showed up and he was the president of the world. Like half of the fucking country would have lost their minds if there was, some kind of conservative character. But because that's the problem with these movies and these shows is it's seriously, it's just, I hate to sound like my father or some kind of right-wing conservative because I'm not a conservative, but this stuff is literally leftist propaganda. Like literally, that's all it's evolving into, these movies. It's just like a vehicle to just
platform.
A vehicle. They take these IPs to just turn it into a platform, a vehicle to preach this nonsense onto us. And it's like somehow if Luke Skywalker says it, I'm going to be like, oh, well, he's right. No, like I said, with this Will Smith thing, I make my own decisions and my own opinions about current events. Yeah. I don't just have someone copy and paste what I'm supposed to feel. Oh, so I should feel this way about the Jada Pinkett thing because they're saying that it's racist. They're saying that it's like, no, use your head, think with your heart. What do you know in your heart is right and wrong? Like think for yourself, man. Think for yourself. And it's okay to say Star Trek Picard is awful. And here's the thing. If you like Stacey Abrams and you were happy with the show and that cameo, I don't hate you for it. I'm just saying if the role, like it's just lame, try hard. It seems like it shouldn't be in Star Trek, that kind of divisive crap and ridiculing half the fucking fan base. And I'm just saying if the tables were turned, if they were fucking putting someone you didn't like in the show, these people, the proverbial you, they would lose their mind.
Right.
Like right now, people are making fun of Stacey Abrams. They're making fun of Star Trek. They're like, this is stupid. This is not cool. But like, if it was the role, like this is how normal people react to these crazy people. But like I said, if the roles were reversed, you had some conservative person in there, you had Ron DeSantis on the fucking Star Wars Discovery, I would have the same opinion. I'd be like, yeah, it seems a little divisive for Star Trek. Seems a little forced and weird. But the people who think Stacey Abrams is so great in Star Trek Discovery, they would be literally frothing in the mouth. They would be like so, drunk on fucking hate and anger and rage and calling for people to get fired and unpersoned and shit. And it's like, dude, we see this behavior and we're wise to what you all are acting like. And, Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard, it's like the big problem with these shows, like I was saying, is like nobody is reserved. Nobody's polite. Nobody's respectful. Like people can have differences, opinions in the world of Star Trek, you know, and that's the world we all want to live in. But these people seem to think that that Star Trek is some kind of communist leftist utopia of some kind where all the right wingers are dead. And like, it's like, no, like, good God. And like I said, taking this, because of the reality of this Jada Pinkett, Will Smith, Chris Rock scenario is, if anything, it's not racial, it's not misogynistic. It's more of a, you know, we're watching a man in a really toxic relationship, like kind of losing his grip on things, you know, because he's under a lot of stress because of his marriage with a, you know, I don't want to say she's a toxic partner, but she's definitely not good for him. Like he's not enjoying it being with her because she's just spending, I don't know if she's doing it on purpose or unwillingly, but she is just trying to humiliate. It seems like she's just humiliating him publicly any chance she can get.
Right.
Her much more successful and much more you know, famous husband. And it's just like, you know, it just comes off as like constantly taking him down a peg, and he just has to sit there and take it. Like people
And
made
smile
fun of him so
be
hard.
likable.
Yeah,
Right.
people made fun of him so hard for the whole Jada Pinkett open relationship thing because of his reaction to it. But it's like, dude, what are you saying? Like she's basically saying, I can fuck whoever I want. You're a bad husband for not knowing that I'm cheating on you, and you have no say in who I get to fuck. And it's like, that's not how open relationships work, to my understanding.
And also publicly.
Right. And you can tell like he's agreeing. He's like, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. But you can see in his eyes like how hurt he is.
Right.
So
Sure.
again, talking about this whole incident, like it definitely seems like it's not staged. We're probably Occam's razor, like Britt said, it's like probably just watching a guy lose his shit because he's going through a lot of pressure.
Yep.
And it's interesting because,
totally
like I said, he is his career was at a low point. It's dwindling. I Am Legend sucked. The Gemini Man sucked. Fucking Pursuit of Happiness. I haven't even seen it, and he lost the nomination to that one.
It was okay. It was like a feel good.
He's definitely not the number one actor in the world anymore, but these things happen.
I can't think of I mean, probably a movie. Men in Black I've probably seen a bunch of times, but that's one of those movies where I don't know how old were we when that came out. Like
the movie's got a great rewatchability factor. The movie's got great rewatchability factor, man.
And it's one of those movies like when you're hungover and it comes on, you're like, okay, I'll fucking watch Men in Black.
Yeah, we're watching
Legend sometimes because it's always on or whatever.
I Am Legend. I do not like I Am Legend.
Stand out to me.
Independence Day is great, even though I wouldn't really call that a Will Smith vehicle. That's why I liked Independence Day, is because he's actually just a smaller cog in a bigger story in Independence Day. I mean, Bill Pullman's great in that movie. So is Jeff Goldblum. But Will Smith was one of those actors where he wants the spotlight. He wants to be the number one star of the movie. And that was working for him for a while with some of those movies. But like, yeah, by the time he was making, you know, whatever, I Am Legend and everything after that, it just kind of seemed to be like, all right, we're waning down. And the thing is, that's perfectly normal. You're not going to be the biggest star forever. Like you had a good
sequel to that too.
Yeah, I Am Legend 2. There's another legend. We Are Legend. You know, like I don't know what the fuck. I didn't like the first one at all because it's too different from the book. Like this idea, they lost the central point of the book. Is the idea is, you know, the human is the spooky monster. The vampires. The twist is, it turns out that these vampires aren't really like zombies. They actually are intelligent and have memories and like they are somewhat still there. They have like a civilization, it turns out. And then it's revealed to him that he is I Am Legend. He's basically the scary monster who comes to them. Like they tell each other about, you know, the kids are afraid of him because like he's the boogeyman to them. It's just like the role reversal where instead of a world full of humans, you got one vampire. You got a world full of vampires and one human who's just killing these vampires. And it's just like, you realize like he's been the bad guy the whole time. So it's a great reveal. Yeah. But this one, they try to do something else with like, he's got the fucking antidote to everything. And yeah, it's the same old shit you always see. And the real big problem with I Am Legend, the computer animated zombies, like don't ever do that again, or at least do it to where they look real. Like they look like literal Roger Rabbit characters.
With the big mouth that comes down.
Takes you out of it so badly. So badly. It's so bad. And you know, that's not Will Smith's fault at all. But that's the other thing is like when he's like the star of what were you saying? Oh God, not
Men in
Independence Day.
Black.
Men in Black. He sells
Mm.
that movie. He's the fucking best part of that movie. Not only is he
Right.
the star, but he's like, Tommy Lee's great too with his, cold, factory, company man kind of
The
attitude.
deadpan, yeah, right.
Yeah,
You
Leslie
gotta kinda play
Nielsen.
off the
Leslie
face as
Nielsen
well.
from The Naked Gun. Like, no matter what the wacky aliens are doing, you act like this is completely normal. Like
Right.
that's the joke. And Will Smith,
right.
he's whoa, he's the
He's
fish
the
out of
audience,
water.
yeah.
It's a great
He's
movie.
freaking out. Uh-huh.
And that's why the first one's so good, because it is that classic fish out of water story where Will Smith is like the vehicle for us to learn about this great fantastical world of the MIB, and this
Right.
is their day job, and it is potential for lots of sequels too, because that could be a series,
Yeah,
But what do you remember?
Sure.
I totally just remember that there was a reboot of Men in Black recently, and that sucked too.
yeah.
Men
we
in
looked
Black
at the third one.
International, or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
Chris
I don't
Hemsworth.
think was it I thought was it Josh Brolin? Was he in
No,
it
that
too?
was Men in Black 3. Josh
there was a
Brolin
fourth?
is young. Josh Brolin is young Tommy Lee in part 3.
Okay.
In part 4, it's like a reboot where it was like we're going to a different office and it's different agents, and it's Chris Hemsworth and that Valkyrie girl from.
Got you from.
But the problem with the Valkyrie girl from Thor in that movie, it's the same thing with the Rey Skywalker, the Captain Marvel, this Cruella de Vil type thing, where they think, okay, we want a young female to play the lead. She's going to be literally flawless and have literally no fucking problems doing anything. She sneaks into MIB. She like becomes an agent because she just like wants to, and she just knows about it. She's just so badass. She just basically walks into the office and like, give me a job. And it's like, okay. And then like, yeah, she's basically showing Chris Hemsworth, who's like her partner, who's supposed to be showing her the ropes. She's basically showing him, what to do with everything and how to, and it's not like that's terrible, but it's not as good as watching a character struggle, learn things.
Right. Yeah.
That's what
that was
we as humans
that
like
was
to
the fun
relate
part
to.
of watching the first one was like he had to.
He's
he
fucking
wasn't
up.
He wasn't supposed to make it in.
He's fucking. Oh, also once he is in, he keeps fucking up. He fires the noisy cricket. Do not ever. We never discharge our weapons in view of the public. And he's like, yo, man, we got to do it because there's a fucking, what does he say? He's like, what are they called? They're like, we got a fucking bunch of aliens, there's like, and Tommy Lee's like, there is always a Carillion death ray or an intergalactic plague. The reason why these people go on with their happy little lives is they do not know about it. Yeah. It's one of those movies you've seen so many times, you don't even realize you know it, but it's a great one. I don't know Hancock. I hated Hancock. I talked about it briefly. I want to sponge on it a little bit more, but like the first half, I hate it because I loved the first half. The movie starts off and you're like, this is good. This is awesome. And like the whole movie should have been like that kind of story where you have a character who's a shitty person, but he has superpowers, and, watching him kind of become like a rags to riches type hero. That could have been your story right there.
Sure.
And that would have been fine. But the problem is this sequel material with like Uma Thurman, and they're all gods, and like he has amnesia of his past life, his origin story. That's when the movie just totally shit dives into a fucking concrete bed, dude. It's awful.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man. And,
like, I Am Robot. That's
another one I've seen a lot.
It's okay. It's okay.
But none of them are right.
I mean, I did like Alec Tuning. What's his from Firefly, the pilot? His name. He's in all those roles. He was the robot, Sonny the robot. He did a good job as that robot character was cool.
Right on.
Where he's like, because that's the point of the movie, was like Will Smith is prejudiced towards robots. He does not like robots. He's like Boba Fett. He don't fucking, or he's like the Mandalorian. I mean, he doesn't trust the droids. Right. He just feels like he's discriminatory towards them. He's prejudiced towards them to the point where like everyone thinks he's crazy. And then of course the bad shit starts happening and he's like vindicated, right? But then you find out it's actually not the robots. It's like this corrupted, hive mind. So he realizes like he was right and wrong at the same time. Like his prejudices were not unfounded, but he's also like, you know, you can't let it, you have to be like, it's okay to be, you know, skeptical of someone, but you can't be, there are good people. There are good people out there, despite, you know, how you feel about a group of people, you know, there are good eggs and bad eggs. They're evil robots. They're good robots, you know, like,
I didn't really think about that way, but yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, and the, you know, it was just like, you know, trying to make a movie out of the Asimov principles, you know, it was clever enough and had some fun moments, but CGI is a little outdated, and the action scenes, that was the point where Will Smith is like, yo, I'm fucking so cool. Like in that movie, check out my badass, like vintage sneakers and my vintage technology. I'm just a player. I'm always dressing nice and fucking everyone likes me. And, you know, it's the same thing with these Ray Skywalkers. It's like not a Mary Jane, not a Mary Sue, but like a, you know, what do they call it? A Larry Stew. You know, he's just such a great character. And he has, you know, he's just so cool. It just seems like Tom Cruise, like when he's playing a hero, it's better to see.
They're playing themselves. I mean,
he's like, hey, look how great I am driving nice cars and getting chicks. It's like, no, I'd rather see Tom Cruise play a fucking, you know, weirdo. You know, I'd rather see him play like a person with flaws, a person with hang-ups, like a normal person.
Interesting.
And,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like how Tom Cruise's best roles are when he's a villain.
Or when Sandler does like a dramatic movie or, you know, something.
No, not a dramatic one, but like Uncut Gems where he's like a fucking crazy, like a douchebag. You're like, you want to strangle him in that movie. You're like, you fucking idiot. Right. But then you realize like, oh, this is Adam Sandler, you know, he's doing a good job here. But like, yeah, with Tom Cruise, like his best roles are Collateral, Interview with the Vampire, Tropic Thunder, you know, Magnolia, all the movies where he's playing like unsavory or bad characters. That's where he shines, man. He needs to do that way more often.
Yeah.
Same thing with Will Smith. Like, let's see Will Smith play a fucking villain for once. This idea that I'm always the hero, I'm always the main guy. I can never be like a supporting character.
Right.
Like, and when he did that with After Earth with his son, he was so horribly miscast in that movie. Because he's like Will Smith. He's famous for being loud, funny, cool. But like in that movie, he's like reserved and calm. And it's like, no, you get Denzel Washington to play that character, you know? You get Sidney Poitier to play that type of character. Right. So he's just horribly miscast in that movie. So like the whole movie, we're watching Jaden, his stupid son running around who can't act for shit, or at least couldn't act in that movie. He's just running around the jungle. And then we cut to Will Smith, like injured in a fucking helipad, you know, just kind of like, all right, now go left. Now jump off.
Sorry, man. My thing just cut out. But
it's all good. Just talking about that terrible After Earth movie. I mean, that's the other thing. You know, the Will Smith, the Smith family is so weird. This idea, like
the ratings just tanked. That's another thing. You know, weren't they like trying to get emancipated from those two people, like trying to get away from them? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I was saying this when they were younger. And now it seems like it's coming true, but it's like you try to force your kids in the Hollywood stardom because you're famous, your kids are going to resent you for it and they're not going to get famous. It's like the same thing where like you want your kid to be really good at math or you know, he's going to be not into whatever you want him to do. Like if you're going to try to make the kid, oh, my kid's going to play drums because I play drums. My kid's going to hate playing the drums because I'm just going to force it on him. Go practice your drums, you know, like, no, he's like, you know what I want to do, Dad? I want to do architecture. Like, that's how he's going to rebel. You know what I mean? And then I'll be like, it worked. I tricked him into being an architect. Like, it's actually a good idea.
Nothing better than an architect.
No, I mean, you know what I mean? Just like, whatever. But like, yeah, Jaden Smith and Willow Smith. Yeah, like you said, they're over their parents' shit, you know? And it's like, this idea like Will and Jade are famous, so naturally their kids should be famous too. It's like, bro, it's also especially hard on kids, you know, the celebrity life. First of all, most of them
Willow and Jaden.
Yeah, that shit's not cute. I mean, it's kind of weird because you're also, I mean, you are definitely eliminating the prospect. Like I said earlier, no third child's coming because he's going to throw the whole thing out of whack. And then second of all, Will Smith has another son, an older son from a previous marriage who he just apparently doesn't give a shit about. he's like saying it's just like Julian Lennon.
Yeah.
It's just sad, really. I don't know the situation. Maybe he is a good father to him. I don't know, but I just remember reading something a while back that like he's kind of estranged from him, which is very sad. Your dad's like the highest paid actor in the world, and he just wants to hang around with Jada Pinkett and their kids. And it's like, you know, it's like in Fresh Prince, like, how come you don't want me, man?
Right.
How come you don't want me? That's your own
Right.
son, Will. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, Will Smith and them, they just seem like a bunch of weirdos, and he was definitely wrong for slapping them. But like I said, he
Yeah.
apologized.
I mean, look, you know, I think it's a function of they live in that bubble and nobody tells them no about anything. And I think you're exactly right. Like what Britt was saying earlier, it's like all of that just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah, pressure.
And you just see red one day and you don't even know what you did. You know what I mean?
But like I said, what's really sad and shocking about the whole situation is watching like
weird
friends of mine turn on me because I am saying you shouldn't slap someone for joking about your wife's bald head, your wife's alopecia. I mean, like, sure. I mean, like I was saying, like, if you want to fucking take it to the physical level, like you made fun of my wife, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. That's fine. You just have to admit, like, I'm taking it to the next level. I'm going to get up here and make it physical violence now. I'm the one who's turning it into something it doesn't need to be. As long as you can admit that, then go ahead, beat the shit out. That's the whole point of fighting someone. All right, it's time to take it to that level. I'm about to fight you. But like, you can't just be like throwing slaps for minor inconveniences because that just seems more like childish outbursts. And the thing is,
and
you know,
it's condoning the behavior too,
and it doesn't work.
He's down and nothing happens to him, you know.
And the thing is, people think that it works like this everywhere. Like some guy's gonna fucking try to slap someone at a bar. You're about to get in a brawl, so be prepared. You think it's gonna be like in the movies where you slap him and you go walk back to your table and you sit down and he's just like, oh, shocked. There's a good chance that you're about to get fucking beaten to death. Like there's a good chance that it's about to, you don't know if this guy's got like some homies. Don't fucking slap people because you never know. You might fucking slap a psychopath. You might slap the wrong motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
Don't get into fucking shit with strangers and even your friends. I don't know how fucking dangerous you could be in a fucking situation. What kind of fucking maniac are you? And granted, like if you get attacked, defend yourself. That's why I don't attack people. Because I know if someone went up and slapped me, I'm fucking taking a glass and smashing it in their face right away. It's on. I don't know who you are. You think I'm just going to sit here and take shit? Like I know how I'd react in that situation. So that's why I don't do that to people. Because I know I'd probably get a beer bottle smashed in my head or something. But this idea, like you think, like I said, these people who are condoning this and celebrating it, these people have never been in a fucking fight. They don't know what it's like to be in real fights, real shit. They think it's like the movies. They think it's like Will Smith. I'm going to slap him and just walk away and everyone's going to give me a round of applause. You're going to get fucking cracked in the back of the head as you turn around and walk away. He's going to fucking dive on you and you're going to fall face first into the asphalt and he's going to start like pounding your head. You're going to be like, oh, get off. And you guys start wrestling. You know what a real fight's like. Both of you get fucking jacked up. Both of you are just covered in bruises. Tables are breaking. This is two grown men. This is like two gorillas fighting in a fucking enclosure. If I was in a room and two grown men that I don't know are fighting next to me, you get the fuck away because you could easily get hurt just from two guys tussling. It's not a game, kids. And it's like, you think that like, that's the other thing. You women out there, you don't understand, man. You tell your man to go slap some guy or whatever, or fight some guy. You might be fucking sending your man to go die. You don't even know.
Yeah.
You could
fall down. You fall down. You don't even get hit. Maybe you fall down.
Or shit. This guy just literally might just be a fucking gangster with a gun who's killed before.
Sure.
You're fucking with the wrong guy. If he's willing to fucking, talk shit to your woman in front of her face at a club, who knows what else he's willing to fucking do.
Right.
Some people are fucking crazy.
Is it a function? Do you think it's like a function of, I just had this thought last night, a function of like kind of a snapshot of where society is right now?
It's scary, dude.
It's like
everyone's so divisive, and it's like I said, we're not in timeline A.
Enzo, people have gotten roasted at Oscars. Remember the Ricky Gervais shit? People have.
That's all the Oscars were, dude. Dude, Ricky Gervais. That's why I loved Ricky Gervais.
What do they have to do now? Like put up a gate in front of the thing and only open it for the people to accept? I don't know.
I was saying brawls should determine the winner from now on. Like, let's just have a fucking boxing match, and it's like the award for best actor, an all-out brawl between Joaquin Phoenix Michael Caine, Danny DeVito, and in the fourth quarter, we've got fucking Paul Rudd. They just go in and just start bashing each other in the head. The winner fucking, you won Best Actor for Ronald McDonald in the McDonald's movie or whatever. Like, you know, doesn't even matter what the role is. It's like trial by combat. You know, it doesn't matter if you're right or whatever. It's like whoever wins the fight wins.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd
That's
be great.
a weird deal, man. And that was one of the weirdest things I've seen. So,
I mean, yeah, it was awful, and everyone knows that it's awful. And the people that are trying to convince themselves it's somehow virtuous or whatever, it's like, no, it isn't. It is a symptom of like the downfall of our society. Like we're watching
yeah.
this shit fall apart in real life, and like watching. Like I said, it's not a majority of my friends. It is like probably like 10 to 12% of my friends that I'm seeing on social media anyway, like acquaintances, you know, Facebook friends. I'm seeing that kind of percentage of people who are like, this, you know, this is the absolute wrong opinion, and I'm totally like sticking to it. Like, I don't care. And it's like,
Right.
you're trying to tell them it's wrong, and it's just going one ear and one out the other. Like, you can slap this person for making fun of Jada Pinkett's alopecia for whatever reason, because she's black, because she's a woman, because she's a medical condition. It doesn't matter. Like, it's like, no, you can't. It's like I was saying earlier, remember when we were all laughing about Rush Limbaugh for dying of lung cancer? There were some fucking dark jokes going on, and it was funny, but Jesus Christ, like, you're all giddily, like, you know, Clarence Thomas went to the fucking hospital for some infection. It's just like, God, I hope he dies. I'm literally seeing shit like that. I'm just saying what I'm seeing in my feed. And it's like, if you're one of these people that,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Hey, people love Will Smith, man. He's,
yeah, people do love Will Smith, and we love
charismatic
Chris
dude.
Rock too. And it's painful to watch these two people we both like fight each other over trivial shit. And to,
Sure.
you know, I don't want to like blame Jada Pinkett or act like Jada Pinkett's like evil or anything, but it's just like, you know, she's not. It's like she's somehow she subconsciously pulled that string to make that happen, you know. And whether she did it willingly or unwillingly, the point is Will Smith felt because of his wife, he had to do that. And it's like,
Right.
no. And the fact that, you know, Jada Pinkett needs to fucking say something too, man. Like, hey, I love my husband and I love Chris. And that was really weird. And I mean, honestly, that joke was distasteful, but didn't warrant a slap. I mean, and even if you just don't make fun of my hair again, because it's sensitive, we'll get it. I get it. Like, if like I'm one of those guys where like all jokes are on the table. But if you tell me, hey, if you make that joke again, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face, I'll be like, all right. I'll know that if I say it, I'm asking you to fucking try to punch me in the face.
Yeah.
I'll know that that's the line. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, you gotta give them the
you gotta put the line down
right?
first.
I
You
mean,
can't just say, hey, you crossed the line you didn't know existed, you know?
Right.
You gotta give people verbal warnings, man. This idea, like, and you know, unless you're a fucking badass motherfucker, unless you're one of these like legit like gangster criminals, like, you fucking cross me, I'll fucking bust a cap in your ass. Like, those people are out there. And I understand that. But at the same time, like, even if you are one of these, you know, I'm going to rough up this guy because he fucking said some shit to my wife. Do it in the parking lot when no one's around. Don't do it on fucking television in front of a million people. You know, you make yourself look
wild,
bad.
Man. Yeah.
And then he wins the Oscar, and like, yeah, everyone's just like,
God, that was so weird.
This just happened 20 minutes ago, and now we all got
so my thought was like, what do they do now? I mean, are they going to escort him out, or because if they escort him out, I guess that automatically means that he won the Best Actor, or do they give a Best Actor to someone else?
Well, I read that the Oscars could, if they wanted to, they could easily take that Oscar away from him if they choose to.
Really?
Like, that is still on the table, but it's like, based on what happened with them forgiving each other in public apologies, I would think that would be remiss if that happened. But if he hadn't apologized, if Will Smith had doubled down or some shit, I would be like, take his fucking Oscar away for real. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't call for it, but if it happened, I'd be like, man, fuck it. You know, whatever, you're being a dick, dude. But like the fact that if he had not apologized tonight, this stream would have been very different. I would have been very like, fuck that guy, man.
Yeah.
If you fucking like Will Smith, you're a fucking chump, you know? But you know, I understand it's just everyone's heated. Everyone's stressed out over the last 2 years, but there's been a subset of our friends, of our population, their brain has been broken. Their brain has been broken. And I really hope it's not beyond repair, because like you have been poisoned by fear and vitriol to where anyone who goes outside the dictated opinion must be othered, enemied, fucking canceled, unfriended. You are dangerous. You have become radicalized. Please, if you're listening and you're hearing me say this and you think this is you, I'm not trying to come into place of hatred when I say this. I'm coming from a place of love, man. You guys have got to chill out. You know, your fucking mother voted for Trump. That doesn't mean you get to hate her. You know what I mean? This idea, you know, there's so much shit going on. This war in Ukraine. Everyone's worried about nuclear war. There's
Yeah, a
Joe
couple weeks
Biden,
ago, it was,
hyperinflation,
we're on the verge of World War III, right?
hyperinflation, food shortages.
Right.
Like this is the collapse of the US dollar. Like this is all looming. And it's either we're
Yeah.
either coming out of this on top or on bottom. We're either coming out of this into a brave, awesome new world, or this is going to be like doomsday shit. And it's really about how we all react and treat each other during these times, man. And we can't be divided over trivial shit, especially involving fucking Hollywood celebrities, man. Like if I don't agree with you about Jada
Yeah.
Pinkett Smith, that doesn't mean you get to just say our friendship means shit. I fucking hate you now. Like you have been
Yeah.
poisoned if that is what you feel.
That's a
Okay?
weird line, you know.
It's hilarious,
a
honestly.
really
Like I'm
weird
saying, I
line to
can't
draw.
wait to run into this person in a month or two at whatever fucking music festival, and I just have to act like I'll just be like, "What's wrong with you, dude? Like, come on, add me back on Facebook. Like, come on, what are you doing? Like, wait, are you done having a pissy fit about Jada Pinkett? Like, I'm sorry, I said he shouldn't have slapped her. Like, do I really have to apologize? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I said that he shouldn't have slapped Chris Rock. If you feel like that is a unfriendable offense, I'll apologize to you just to make you feel better, okay?
Right, yeah.
Because if it's that big of a deal, it's not fucking worth it, man, to lose friends over shit like this. You know,
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
lose friends, but make enemies. You don't want enemies. You don't want too many fucking enemies. You don't want to be hating people, especially people you barely know. It's just like
Well, here's a little thing of advice. Like, let it go. You know,
let
whatever.
it go.
It's so
Thank you.
like trivial, and you know.
Yeah.
You're,
And I
you're
told-
only around for so long, and
Right.
you're just creating more suffering for yourself. You don't let shit go, and it's just
Yeah, and it's easy to get heated too, man. Like I did a pro Gina Carano post on International Women's Day, and that got some fun comments. And of course, you got an individual coming in saying, you know, she's a fascist, she's a Nazi, and you come in, you disagree. I disagree. You know, and it's just like that's that. And now I'm noticing that same person coming in my threads and just saying some kind of nobody gives a fuck what you think. Fuck you. You're ridiculous. You're a fucking incel. And this has only happened 3rd times, but the 3rd time I'm like, bro, I don't hate you, dude. Like, I'm not your fucking enemy. You're on my Facebook friends. I don't remember exactly how I met you. I assume it's from the music festival scene from 2015, 16. I'm sure we've had very few physical encounters, but I'm not your enemy,
Yeah.
dog. Like, and I'm sorry, like, you know, in the Gina Carano thread, I might have said some shit. I might have insulted you a little bit.
right.
You know?
It's so funny. Yeah.
But if you call me an
Yeah.
incel, I can call you a wook. You know what I mean? Like it's not, you know, we're jabbing, but I had to put that in the bud. I'm like, look, dog, I wish the best for you. I know that seems far-fetched, but like if, you know, Allie, you're watching this, I wish the best for you. I don't want any fucking bad blood with anybody over nonsense like this, you know? And if you think I'm somehow some kind of enemy or some kind of dangerous person, because I'm over here preaching actual love and tolerance, and I'm telling you that the so-called love and tolerance you are preaching is literally hate. It's literally hate. It's hate and envy, and it's just disgusting. And you're been twisted to where you think these literally evil thoughts are somehow just and good. And it's like I said, it's not a lot of my friends that are thinking like this, but there's enough to be worried about it, you know? I mean, you see this shit too, right?
Yeah, I don't really get on Facebook at all anymore. Now I'm on Twitter.
Twitter's even worse.
And I get to see everyone else.
Twitter's even worse, dude, but at least it's
twisted ideas,
strangers.
I know.
Twitter's good because like it's difficult for like, you know, when Allie made some posts that fucking racist shit, I had to think about like how can I be like, I don't want to just like tear into her, but I gotta be firm. This is ridiculous. Fucking delete this shit. This sucks. Like this is the worst thing you could possibly say. You know, that's basically what I was saying. fucking, this is
Right.
stupid. I was saying not only this is wrong, but this is stupid too. The person who wrote this is not only wrong, but dumb. Don't fucking
Or
listen
like
to this
the idea
person.
of like propagation, or
Yeah. Well, she's like copying pasting for this from another thread. And here's copy and
Okay.
pasted. And it's just like 17 paragraphs of like everything's racist and sexist. And white
Yeah.
people need not apply. And it's just like, no. And then, like I said earlier, I was telling Max, the cherry on top, what really threw me off and really sent me off the rage, not rage, but just made me have to say something. Because, like, you're going to send me some diatribe about how everything's racist. I can easily just give you a thumbs up button and just move on. But the worst part is the whole diatribe ends with, now that I have your attention, here's my Venmo, here's my Cash App, here's my fucking of the whoever posted the diatribe.
Really?
And I was like,
That's
no,
great.
this grifting
Wow.
nonsense. No, you're listening to a broke, racist communist, and they're literally just telling you what to think, and you're just buying it hook, line, and sinker, not having your own original opinion on it. You're not critically analyzing what these people are saying. It's just like, this is what Twitter says. This is what Twitter dictates. You must feel. You must think like this. It's like they're the Borg. It's like they're the Borg.
Right.
And if you
Yeah.
Article 99, making fun of bald women is wrong and you will be slapped. And it's like, I disagree with Article 99. You are expelled.
Right.
Even if you
Right.
agree with 1 through 98, it doesn't matter. Once J.K. Rowling, I keep talking about J.K. Rowling, how it's so baffling. The same people that literally are obsessed, grew up worshiping Harry Potter, and they fucking base their whole adult lives on Harry Potter. They fucking hate J.K. Rowling now because she don't get down with the trans women in sports. And it's like,
Mhm.
you have to understand that can't be that. You have to understand why some people might disagree with you on that one, right? You know, like
Yeah,
even if you think you're wrong, they're wrong, and you think you're right. It's the same thing with abortion. Like, even if you have to understand why some people might be opposed to it, right? Just like
Mhm.
understand that it's not, it's not black and white here. It's not, there's shades of gray here. But with J.K. Rowling, it doesn't
Absolutely.
matter. Doesn't matter if you made Dumbledore gay. Doesn't matter if you made Hermione black. Now you're saying, you said that, women should have women only spaces, and she's a TERF and she needs to be basically forgotten and erased. We're going to have the Harry Potter 20th anniversary show. And if J.K. Rowling fucking makes an appearance, we're rioting, It's like, these
Right.
people are poisoned. These people are sick. They need help. But that's the other thing is, like, you point this out. You can't make fun of people for their sickness or their illness, or their mental illness. But it's like, dude, these people are mentally ill. Like, a lot of these people, literally, the people who preach this shit, you notice they all have fucking they're all bipolar. They all brag about how they all have depression and they're suicidal and whatever the fuck, they wear their fucking
Yeah.
ailments like a sleeve of honor. And it's like, maybe stop telling us what to do. If you're that fucked up, you live in squalor, your house is a mess, you can't fucking hold a job, your fucking relationships are all toxic one after another. Get some fucking help, man. Better yourself. Fucking find
Yeah.
Christ or whatever the fuck you need to just get right with the world. Get right with yourself, man. Like, why do
Yeah.
people think I'm in my 20s? Because I fucking don't let this shit stress me out, and I don't have hangups, and I don't have hate in my heart. Like, these people talk about how they're all love and peace, and it's fucking bullshit. They are literally seething with rage, filled to the brim with fucking rage. It is insane. And it's all because their life sucks. But it's like, have some responsibility. You are in control of your own fucking destiny, my friend.
Mhm.
You got to make a change, man. I'm over here in Alvin helping my mom and grandma. My grandma's like, she's on her way out. Like, it's probably like 2 months tops. She's, I've been here for almost 2 years now. She's had dementia this whole time I came up here, because all my aunts, they're all in their 70s. My mom, she's like 70 fucking 3 years old, 74.
Right.
These old ladies, they can't help out with a 90 something year old lady. It's just me and my uncle Dino. We're like the men around, and
Right.
I haven't been showing up lately because my grandma's getting worse. And it's like, my mom's like, there's no point in you going, because it's like, eh. But now it's like my grandma's getting bedridden, so it's like, it's coming, so it's like,
Yeah.
just start
Sorry to
visiting.
hear that. Yeah, I've been there before, man. Grandma thing.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. But like, everyone goes through this shit. We're all the same, like this idea that so-and-so is better than someone, just because someone has tons of money, just because someone has what you call privilege or luxury, doesn't mean that they are happier than you or that they don't have problems like you do. Okay. Some people have it worse than others, and everybody has it very bad at some point in their lives. Everyone does. So, you know, these Oscars, you know, if anything we can take from this last day of mayhem is, you know, hopefully we can all just learn to just relax a little. And like you said, like let it slide. Just forget about it. Don't let it bother you. Like if
Right.
someone disagrees with you about anything, you know, try not to just hate them. Try to love them, you know, try to love them more. You know, that's really all I can say.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally.
Anyway, it's good talking to you, man. I mean, what have you
You
been up
too,
to,
man.
brother? Like,
Oh,
I haven't talked to you
not too
since
much,
like
man.
a stream, like probably like half a year ago or so, maybe more.
Yeah. I was on YouTube and I was like, I saw that you were on. I was like, oh, I got to hear Enzo's takes on this. It's gonna be great.
Well, cool. And that was the one thing I did have to say is when I was trying to make peace with that one individual who was, you know, fucking not harassing me, but you know, I had to nip it in the bud the third time. You're coming in my thread, telling me basically saying I'm fucking idiot incel. It's like, all right, dude. Sorry, you and I disagreed about Gina Carano. Let's
Right.
not do that. Let's not make it like this, okay? You and I can still be friends, dog. All right.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's like, God damn it, why did I bring that up? You were saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like looping out here.
I'm
so sorry.
I
I
was
was on.
just saying, like, I was on YouTube. Is that what?
Yeah. You were watching. You found out us. Oh man.
Yeah, I saw your stream. Just wanted to hear.
Oh
What you were
yeah,
gonna
no. You
say.
said yes. I know exactly why I brought it up. He did say nobody gives a fuck about your hot takes, and I was like, at least you admit they're hot takes. At least you admitted they are spicy. Because I mean,
Yeah.
when I say a spicy take, I don't mean like the wrong thought. I mean something that's gonna make you think and maybe question yourself. Maybe, like I said, as we've seen on this thread and on my fucking Facebook posts, like 113 comments. It seems like 80-90% of the people agree with me. Us, everyone on this.
Right.
Nobody. I always loved dissenting opinions. I would have loved it if someone who vehemently disagreed with us would have came on. That would have been fun. But we would have treated them with love and respect, unless, of course, they were being a prick. But
well, that's what I always like, listen to you talk about stuff is because you explore all sides of it and aspects of it. And
I mean, I try to be
get in
neutral.
that person's head who doesn't agree and why that might be or whatever the case may be. So
it's really scary when it's really scary for me when people call someone like myself who, you know, prides themselves on, you know, trying to be fair and neutral and all that stuff. When someone's saying that I'm the bad guy, it's like, you know, there's something wrong here because I'm not trying to be.
You're not the arbiter of whatever, but
yeah, dude. I mean, it's like if someone like me is the bad guy, what about actual fucking assholes? Because there are actual racists out there. There are actual. I'm sure there is someone who hates Jada Pinkett because she's a black woman, and fuck that guy, fuck that person. You know what I mean? Seriously, what's wrong with you?
Sure.
Jada Pinkett.
Right.
Go watch The Wrong Guy. We'll send you that link, but also watch Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. That fucking movie.
Okay.
Jada Pinkett. Have you seen that one?
That was from the 90s too.
Rewatch it, dude. 1995, 96. The first Tales from the Crypt movie. The best Tales from the Crypt movie. Tales from the Crypt, obviously one of the best shows of the 90s. HBO horror anthology. A lot of those episodes are on YouTube for free, by the way. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the show's on HBO, but it should be HBO Max. But that movie, Jada Pinkett, she's great in it. And Billy Zane, he's so awesome in that movie. But yeah, I like Jada Pinkett. I like her work. What else was she in?
She's good.
I mean, she's in the Matrix movies, obviously.
I was just thinking that earlier. I was like, I don't really
she was in, I mean, it is, you know, I don't mean to say it like, oh, she's lashing out on him and embarrassing him because he's more famous. I don't mean to say it like that, but I am saying that could be subconsciously why she feels like she has to put him on a show and cuckold him in front of the entire world, you know? Like, and it's the thing is, you can tell Will Smith's not into it. Some people are into it. They get gratification from watching their woman or their man love another person. Will Smith does not seem to be one of those people. He seems like he's really saving face and trying to be supportive of something he in his heart he's not really down with. And you can tell that he just loves his wife so much he's willing to do it. But like I
Yeah.
said, these type of polyamorous relationships don't work. You know.
I mean, if anything, last night you saw a guy just completely lose his mind, completely lose composure.
Well, not complete. Like completely would have been like I said
Not
if he had like
completely, but
he lost composure for sure.
yeah,
But that could have been way worse.
but he saw red, and I don't know.
But like you said, like why didn't he get? If it was any other person, if it was a nobody, that guy would have been escorted off the building immediately and arrested, thrown in the back of a fucking cop car, and we wouldn't have heard from them from like a week.
Yeah, that was the crazy thing. Yeah, they just sat him back down. Yeah, well, in real life, your publicist comes and talks to you and tells you everything's going to be okay, and Denzel, gives you some advice. And
Well, we were talking about how we were talking about how Will Smith is like the best, the biggest black male actor in terms of box office.
right.
But when we talk in terms of like critical acting, like, yeah, we got Denzel Washington. That's where you got Sidney Poitier, Forrest Whitaker, even. But Denzel's probably like the man, and Sam Jackson too.
Oh, I wanted to see. I was gonna ask you about that. Did you see his movie, where he's is he King?
Sam Jackson or Denzel?
Not the Hamlet, the Shakespeare film that he did.
Denzel?
Yeah.
Oh, Macbeth?
Yeah.
I did not see it. Is it out? Is it good?
It's on Apple TV.
I can find
We
it.
still have that or no?
No, I can find it. Don't worry about it. But it's out.
Dude,
I'll
it
watch
looks cool. So it was directed by one of the Coen brothers.
Coens. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Frances McDormand's in it, right?
Yeah.
So that's
It
his
looks super
wife.
cool.
She's married to one of the Coen brothers, so I assume it's that one.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, it
I think
is. And it's all shot in black and white. It looks awesome.
I mean that's what we were talking about earlier. Is like we need to no more violence in movies, and it's like, yeah, you can have movies like Coda that don't have any violence, but they're not going to be as dramatic as a movie like fucking Starship Troopers where people are getting their heads blown off. And you talk about we're going to remove violence from movies. It's like, dude, we've had violence in our stories as long as we've had stories.
Sure.
So Shakespeare is no different. Everyone fucking dies in those plays. They're cool.
Yeah.
It's either a comedy where like everyone lives, or it's a tragedy where everyone dies. And like those are the two Shakespeare plays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's that conspiracy theory that Shakespeare was actually not one person, but like several people, and kind of like
I was
Banksy.
just thinking about that.
I can't remember what that movie was called. And then I've never seen Shakespeare in Love, which won Best Picture in '97. It beat
That's right.
It beat fucking Saving Private Ryan and Traffic and some other shit. It won 99. That's the year it won. But it's like, holy shit.
Wait, was that one the year it like beat Pulp Fiction or something?
No, Pulp Fiction was 94. Pulp Fiction
Okay.
lost to Forrest Gump, and Shawshank Redemption also lost to Forrest Gump. So yeah,
Wow.
that was but 94 was a crazy year, dude.
Yeah.
What was yeah, they were talking about how like Forrest Gump, Jurassic Park, and Pulp Fiction were all in theaters at the same time. Like, holy shit. That's a time to be. That's when, that fucking movies, man. Back when movies were like a thing. Now it's like, who gives a shit? They're making a new Marvel show, Moonlight. Who cares, man? Endgame. Just ended it on Endgame.
Yeah.
I finally watched the new Spider-Man movie, and I was like underwhelmed. And I assumed because I knew all the spoilers. I'm sure if you watch,
does everyone have to be crying every 5 minutes? You know what I mean?
or joking like nonstop, like, hey, you whack. I mean, there's some great laughs in it, but like the tone was very like yuck, much more so than other Marvel movies. And there were some great genuine laughs, like it's not necessarily like jokes, but like there are some funny parts, like where it's just like the Peter 1, Peter 2, and then Andrew Garfield's like Peter 3, like that. That's funny. That's funny because it's not like a joke. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But like a lot of like, Looney Tunes style, like wacky-doo humor, it was fine, but it was incessant and it just didn't stop. And also, I really got to say, I think people's minds were clouded from the nostalgia bait. Like, because if you watched it in the theaters opening weekend, you had no idea that fucking all this shit was going to happen. Like you were going to see, all the Peter Parkers coming out, and like that shit would have been mind blowing in the theater. But like after knowing about the spoilers, it didn't really do it for me. And that's how, these movies this movie won't hold up on a second viewing,
Right.
Even if, I watched Hereditary a second time and it was 10 times better. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like like a truly good movie gets better. Like Men in Black, it never gets old. You keep watching it. It's still great.
Yeah.
Hereditary. I was just talking about the other day how someone was saying a movie sucked. I hated it. And I was like, I was just like you, where I watched it one time in theaters, 2018 or whatever it came out. And I was like, meh, it's okay. It's pretty good, I guess. It was 2016. And I remember thinking like, yeah, it was a little overrated, but I liked it. But then I watched it a second time. And once you know what's happening, like once you know the plot and there's no surprises and you're just like absorbing it, it is so much scarier. So much crap. So much. It's like The Shining where there's so much hidden
that
stuff.
movie looked pretty fucked up. I didn't see that one.
Hereditary's fucked up, dude. It's scary. Like I remember like watching it first time, thought it was mediocre. Second time, it's one of the best horror movies ever made.
Right on.
It's like The Shining. There's so much stuff in there that you miss. Like you keep noticing new things every time you watch it, and it feels like cursed. Like when the movies, like you feel like you're taking part in some kind of like, you know, satanic ritual or something, just watching the movie.
Whoa, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, yeah, man. I mean, that's why I like the Coen Brothers movies so much. You know,
yeah, I mean,
there's movies that I love that they've done that I still don't really get, but
even their worst movies, I love.
See something else every time. So,
yeah, I like even their worst movies are like Intolerable Cruelty and The Lady Killers and Hail Caesar, and I love all three of those movies. They're all still really good.
Right.
The Lady
you can
Killers,
find something in it that's good.
People say The Lady Killers is hands down their worst movie, and I'm like, you know, I could probably agree with that, but I still think The Lady Killers is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. Lady Killers with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And that's one of those transformative roles too, where like Tom Hanks actually does kind of become this professor character. You kind of forget his Tom Hanks for a while, which is impressive for someone like Tom Hanks to do, you know? But
yeah.
Lady Killers remake, that was Marlon Wayans. He's so fucking funny in that movie. And that movie's got like, racial tensions all throughout it, but it's done in a tactful way. And it's not done in a spiteful way. It's like, you got Marlon Wayans. He's like black thug dude involved in this casino heist, and he's got all of his black thugalicious friends, and then like the professor and all these other super white, like Southern guys. So you've got this like dichotomy of these characters where they all come from different worlds. You know, it's funny.
Yeah, for sure.
But
cool, man. Well. I'm like, hit it. It's great. It's been great.
I feel like I'm losing my voice. No worries, man. I'm kind of, like I said, I was like kind of sick all week, so I feel like I'm finally getting better.
Yeah,
had
like better.
Didn't have COVID. Had like an ear infection, sinus infection.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna go take my medicine. Yeah, I thought I finally got it. Still haven't gotten it. I'm still not special. Yeah. It's not cool.
And good luck with your grandmother. And
oh yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it
for sure. And your mom and all the family over there, and
you too, man. Tell the wife I said hello.
I will do that.
All right, well, you guys have a good one.
It's great talking to you, man.
All right, buddy. See you, man.
All right.
All right, peace. And for the rest of you, let's close out with some more hooray. Let's see here. Close it back out with this classic ditty. Let's pick it up where we left off. Where were we? Shirley Temples. I like Shirley Temples. A Sprite with grenadine syrup in it. Grenadine syrup is pomegranate syrup anyway, right? Anyway. All right, guys. I talked about this for 3 hours. Glad I wasn't by myself. I hope if anyone listens to this now or in the future, you agree with me. Or at the very least, don't hate me for saying something you don't agree with. Because like I said, folks, we need to be kinder to each other. We need to love each other. We need to stop with this shit. All right? The orange man is gone now, all right? We can all breathe a little bit, I think. Everyone can just relax, all right? Because I feel like the times are going to get tougher. And we all need to be together. Like in the old Depression Hollywood era. Times, there are good times and there are bad times. But the point is, like, we go through them together. We go through them together with love. Whatever. Anyway. Hooray for Hollywood, the glitz and glamour, the pedophilia, the violence, the objectification of women, celebrities are trash people. Please remember that, folks. All celebrities are trash unless proven otherwise. It's not the other way around. They are guilty until proven innocent. Narcissists, the lot of them. Anyway, I'm also a narcissist. I hope you enjoyed this show. I had fun. It doesn't matter if no one watches this. Me, Britt, Max, Matt. It's good chatting to you guys. Allie, I'm sorry you hate me now. You're still wrong. Will Smith said you were wrong, so that's that. The rest of you people, all you sane people who know that violence is never the answer, good night. And also good night to all you crazy people who think that it's okay to slap someone for making fun of your wife's bald head. Agree to disagree, I guess. Also, Gina Carano did nothing wrong. End of the broadcast.